Welcome to your doom.
What's up, folks? This is Justin.
This is Atul.
And we have a special guest today, Antoine.
What's going on, everybody?
So, man, look, just wondering, like, what you're getting up to. Like, what are you watching? What are you playing? Like, are you reading anything these days?
Okay. Right now, I'm reading The Takeover. It's a book based on the recent Spider-Man PS4 game.
Nice.
It just goes into the nitty-gritty of what happened in that game. It gives you a little bit more detail in the game. What I watched recently, obviously, we're here to talk about Far From Home.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
So I saw that. Took the wife to go see that. I also saw Lion King just recently. Yeah.
I want to
my wife to date night on that. And games I'm playing right now is Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. Just picked that up.
Is that out now?
Yeah, it's out now.
Some reviews float.
Yeah,
I got some posters in the other room from the second one, and it's
Yeah.
the ones where, because it was Civil War, so you've got like one faction or the other. It's really, damn,
Yeah.
I
that
really
came
like
out.
those.
So I picked that up on Friday, I think it was. So
Yeah.
I got that now. I'm playing through that. And
PS4 or Xbox?
I got it on Nintendo just because, just so I
okay.
can travel with it.
Yeah.
That way, I got the little one at home, so that way I can follow him around while he's on his little Paw Patrol ATV around the block, and I can still play.
Nice.
Don't have to be stationed in front of the TV.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
that's what I've been doing a lot lately. Just Nintendo and keeping after the kid.
That's right. You
I'll be right
mentioned that novel, right?
Yeah.
So, Justin, you finished.
Yeah.
You finished the Spider-Man game. I've never played it.
Yeah.
Is it like, I feel like, so I played the Arkham games.
Yes.
I feel like it's like a similar style of game, but a lot of the stories are just like one-off side quests, you know, like things that just kind of happen. Sometimes the stories come back a little bit in their own sort of like 3-part story arc for a single like mini story.
Yeah.
So does the novel touch on like everything that's in the game?
It touches on
like,
everything that's in the game.
So it's all like one cohesive
story. Yeah.
Oh, plot.
So it's one plot. So the main plot is like the main villain, Mr. Negative or Negative Man, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
It's based on him coming into control over everybody and over everything in the city.
Dope.
Yeah.
So you both finished that game. There's one thing you gotta know about me. I like games. I play games. I buy a lot of games, I'd say. I buy more games than I play. I have a very impressive
You're like a
collection.
curator, but you're
I'm
not
a curator of
curating
games. I'm a curator of digital games. That's what I am. Because it takes me forever to read a novel, and it takes me forever to play any video game. I've been playing The Witcher for like 6 years.
Oh my goodness.
So like The Witcher 3. I'm a huge Witcher fan. I finished the second one, bought the third one when it came out, started playing it and dropped it, started and dropped it because I turned the difficulty up because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna turn it up because, you know, like I want it to be as challenging and immersive as possible. It's a total fucking mistake. I'm just getting.
No,
I'm getting like
be a hero.
destroyed. I'm destroyed by wolves in the forest in the first 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's really embarrassing.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like this guy eats games. So like he gets a game. Like he got Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
And like you just killed it in a couple like 4 days.
Less than a week.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But that was also
through games.
that was my last job, which at that point I was really good at it to the point where I could be like, yeah, this is going to take me like a week, and then I'll smash it in 4 or 5 hours, and then just be able to do the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
My boss might actually be listening, but he knows what's up.
Oh boy. So
He
like
knows how it
like
goes.
what's your typical play like your length, like say, how long did it take you to finish Spider-Man, for example?
Oh, Spider-Man took me about a month.
Okay.
But
And
you're on
that-
that parenting detail.
I'm on the
too,
parenting.
so
Yeah.
that's the
So
thing.
I got a kid at home, so I
That's
can't
true, no,
always
but-
play. Like console gaming is hard now.
Yeah,
That's why I picked up the Nintendo because
That's right.
I can kind of play on the go. I can play in bed. I can.
That's right.
Be in my kid's room and just kind of be like, "Oh, you going to sleep? Okay." And then just get a quick round in, you know?
real quick.
Yeah.
One headphone. You're like,
Exactly.
don't wake up.
Yep.
That's funny. Yeah. So I gotta ask you because I think you're a superhero fan. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you're watching this on YouTube, he's covered in superheroes, and he's technically covered in superheroes or supervillains too. You got Joker on your
I
arm.
got Joker over here.
Yeah.
I got
Tattoos.
Batman on my shoulder.
Nice.
I have Phoenix or Dark Phoenix. Let me be specific. Dark Phoenix.
Yep.
Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Iron Man. And then I have like a lion thing for me and my little family here.
Yeah.
I have Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
And
is
then
that so like this is J. Scott Campbell's.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
This is Greg. I think this is Greg Land's.
It is.
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. And then I have Wonder Woman on my side.
Nice.
Man.
So when you were choosing these, like these are obviously like these are pieces of art that I've seen before. A lot of like. So how did you choose? Like you saw like I'm wondering what this Joker one is.
Arkham City.
Arkham City. Yeah.
Oh, Arkham City.
Yeah.
Like
That was my favorite one.
Was there there was a comic for Arkham City? Like because that doesn't look like it's from the game.
No. It's from like the artwork.
The artwork from the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
when they
like
had all those posters, the white posters.
Oh,
those white posters.
And just like one single color, which
That's
is
right.
in this case is the green, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, that is dope. Yeah.
But for picking these ones, it was all the Hulk was for my brother, and then Wolverine was for my other brother, and then Iron Man and Dark Phoenix and Spider-Man were all for me. It all started with the little Spider-Man logo. Like my first tattoo was like a henna Spider-Man tattoo, and I was like, "That's pretty dope. I like it." So
Did you get it filled in?
Then I got it filled in.
Sick, nice.
So just right over the top.
Yeah, just right over top of it because I got it on purpose to see what my parents would say.
Yeah.
So I got the Spider-Man henna.
Yeah.
Went home, walked around with no shirt on for a couple days.
Tried it out.
You know, and then no one said anything.
And then just
I just got filled in, and then no one said anything, and then it just grew from there.
That's fucking funny, man. I love it. No, it looks great. Like because I remember Campbell did a whole bunch of covers.
Yeah.
For all the Disney like films, and I can't remember. It's like the Grimm Fairy Tales. Like,
or Fantastic Fairy Tales.
Oh, Fantastic Fairy Tales.
Yeah.
Yeah, set of comics. Yeah. Because I remember because I grew up like on comics in the '90s, and it was a weird time for comics, right? In the '90s. But Cliffhanger, which that was that label that J. Scott Campbell, Humberto Ramos, and guy who never delivers any of his art, Joe Madureira. Who basically still hasn't finished Battle Chasers, but has made a game like a Japanese like RPG style like game on it. But yeah, no, I just remember like J. Scott Campbell's art. Like, there's no way to confuse it with anything else.
No, there isn't. I have plans to get more. I want to get. Was it Savage Land Rogue?
Okay, yeah.
And then my wife wants me to get Savage Land Storm.
Oh, nice, yeah. No, that's good, man.
We'll see how well that comes out.
You run out of real estate.
I am a little bit. And then for those of you who are like Dragon Ball fans, I'm getting Shenron on my chest.
Oh,
that's all him.
Yeah,
that's all him.
Sick. That's a good choice. You don't see a lot of Shenron tattoos.
No,
it's
you
always
don't.
Goku or Vegeta.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get Shenron and then put my son's name in one of the Dragon Balls.
Nice.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
You need to have 7 kids then.
Originally, that was the plan, to have like a whole army of kids, but then after you have one, you're just like,
one's fine.
One's enough.
Yeah.
You know, even though my wife wants a second, I'm still. Yeah.
So one of the other things I'm curious about, just in general, is like, well, obviously we're talking about a Marvel movie. Like, what are your favorite Marvel movies? Like, if you were to give out like your top 3,
my top 3 from the most recent. Are we talking about from the whole plethora?
All
Marvel, all
you know
DC,
what?
all.
Let's talk about Marvel movies, but I do want to talk about like comic book movies in general later. But let's talk about Marvel and their latest, like from Iron Man on.
I'm gonna go. Can I go outside MCU?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Blade.
Oh,
bring it up.
Here we go.
Holy
Blade.
fuck.
Good pick.
Wow.
Blade is one of my favorites. I still watch it to this day,
dude. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt.
I think I tend to do that. This is amazing.
I don't want to interrupt, but I'm gonna let you continue, and then I'm gonna come in with the applause finish at the end of the ceremony.
But Blade had the greatest cinematic debut of all time.
It did. Everyone's gonna hate me for this, but I still like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1.
There's no reason to hate.
There's no reason to hate it.
No.
I still love it.
Over Spider-Man 2, though.
Over Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I like Spider-Man 2, but the first one, I saw the first movie 4 times in theater.
Shit.
4 times.
I can get that,
4
though.
times.
That's...
Yeah. 4 times. And then I'd have to say... X-Men 1.
X-Men 1. These are interesting picks.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
They're not the conventional ones from those series. Usually 2 for both of those.
2 for both of those,
yeah.
Usually
the gold standard of those ones.
Yeah,
so.
but I like the originals, because like that's what it was about.
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure,
And then
for sure.
if I'm going to go based off what's best for storyline, obviously Cap 1 has the best story throughout the entire MCU.
All right.
And then I still think Spider-Man, the original, Homecoming, is better than Far From Home.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
If you guys are different,
Oh, no,
you guys
that's
are
cool,
different.
that's
But
cool.
that's my personal opinion. I think that one is better than the first one.
I will agree with you on that one.
we go.
When we delve into it, we'll expand on that a little bit more. You haven't seen Homecoming yet.
I've not
so
seen Homecoming.
We'll be spoiling a little of it.
Yeah. Can we just talk about Blade for a
Yes,
Oh,
do
of course we can talk about Blade.
Sorry,
Of course we can talk about
real
Blade.
quick. I wanted to turn this on because it's just to get rid of some shadows.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's talk about Blade for a second because Blade's back in the news.
He's back. Yeah, he's back.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name. Mahershala
Ali. You got it.
Ali. He. So I saw that piece of news, and I was at my desk, and I was literally just like, yes!
I heard
and
you.
everyone was just everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This massive Sdcc panel. So we should probably talk about that because like, the Sdcc panel was like absolutely massive.
It was. It
It
huge.
always is.
But I don't know if you guys saw the video. Did you guys see the video?
I didn't watch any of the video. I read it afterwards.
So I read it, and then I was just curious about the video, and I can't remember. It's like Vanity Fair or someone released a video of the whole thing, and it's like an hour and 15 minutes long, the whole Hall H presentation.
Jesus Christ!
So I'm just like skipping through. I was skipping through. I'm like, "Where's Blade? Blade here? No, no. Is Blade here? No. This is like Loki. Where's Blade? Where's Blade?" At the end of the show, okay. I think I can't remember who it was. I think it was Feige. And again, the name is Feige, right?
Yeah,
Kevin Feige. He's like, oh yeah, and guys, we didn't have enough time, but we forgot to mention we're gonna bring someone else. And then this is the end. The audio cuts out on the video, and I'm like, what the fuck? But so I can see what's happening in the video. The audio cuts out. He must announce Mahershala Ali. He comes out. People are losing their shit. Nobody knows what he's out there for. Mm-hmm. This is the end of the panel. He comes out, puts on like a Marvel hat. I don't know if it's a Blade hat or a Marvel hat. He puts on a Marvel hat. The lights go out in the entire place. And then the logo for Blade comes up on the press. I'm literally getting goosebumps. Like, if I was in there, I literally would have just shit myself.
Yeah.
I would be in the crowd. I'd be like, I just shat myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
like, I'm just... Because Blade is such an important part. Like me, my cousins, like growing up. We watched that movie so much. It was so different. Stephen Norrington. And then Blade 2 was just like a totally different movie. And we love that movie too. But Blade 1 was like, I'd never seen a Hong Kong action flick before Blade 1. Right? So I watched Blade 1 and I'm like, what is this insanity? Like, what is this? The bloodbath scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's something I'd never seen before. I sat down and I swear to God, like my mind was changed. Like that day, like something... like turned, something clicked.
Is that what got you into horror?
No, I was into horror, but maybe that's why I like, because I'd never seen that type of action smashed with horror before.
Yeah.
Because it was such a horrific scene too. Just like the blood starts coming out, and I'm like freaked out. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then Blade comes in, and it's this insane martial arts thing.
Fight, yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are just like, it's like peanut butter, chocolate.
Yeah.
Put your hands together. And I'm like, what? I don't know what to think right now. And it's such a stylish movie.
Yes.
I don't know. I can go on for days. And Snipes is perfect. He's perfect in that. I don't know.
Christopherson's really good too. Like, he's that
Yeah.
old curmudgeon, but he's still got that formidable thing. The only downside with him with that movie, I felt, was that I can't
Stephen Dorff?
Yeah, Stephen Dorff.
Yeah, Stephen.
He's just I
liked
like
him.
He's got a punchy face.
Yeah,
He does.
But I guess that's good for
He's
a
a
villain.
prick. He's a total prick.
Maybe. He just seemed more of like an annoyance than like a formidable foe for fucking Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he was kind of weak.
Yeah.
He wasn't formidable.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if you compare him to not Demaskinos, what's his name from from the main villain from the second one,
Novak.
Novak.
Yeah.
He was formidable. Like, him as a villain, I liked
he
a
was
lot better.
He was scary.
Yeah.
Like the Reapers in the so Guillermo del Toro. So like that's the thing. Stephen Norrington and Del Toro's movies couldn't have been more different.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I love about those two movies. Like, they're so like Norrington's movie is cold, man. You watch it, it's like blue, black tones, like hyper style. Everything's hyper stylized. You go to Guillermo del Toro's and it's lush. It's like a red velvet, like gold amber, like so warm. You know, like the whole, and it's just totally different vibe. Yeah, dude. Like, fuck. That movie, it just blows my mind that you said that.
Yeah,
it's just totally crazy.
You got to call out the OG.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to call out the OG.
And it's also interesting too, because like when you get Deadpool and Black Panther that have come out, and everyone's like, Black Panther, you know, big, like breaking like these glass ceilings. You've got like all black cast, black star, and like it's like the first movie. I'm like, it's not. And then you have Deadpool. It's like first rated R like horror movie. I'm like, no. Not, like, you had both of these things in a single movie in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, So yeah, like at first, and I'll make this comment because my cousin, we had this argument so many times when I was younger. I was a little dumber when I was younger, so I was always
dumb.
like, I'm still pretty. No, I was dumber.
Oh, fair.
I'm still dumb.
You've learned a thing.
I've learned a thing or two. But I always used to argue with them that like the Matrix copied a ton of things from Blade.
Oh, heck yeah.
Right?
Oh, what?
Oh my
Are you
god!
kidding me?
Oh my god! This is gonna be the best. We just need to change the name of this podcast. It's the Blade
Every
Podcast.
single freaking fight scene was a ripoff of Blade.
Yeah, seriously, and they did the bullet time. They didn't do it exactly the way the Matrix did it.
Yeah,
but they did a bullet time scene.
Yep.
He's got a scene where he talks about the real world being a sugar coated topping. This
Yep.
is the real world, and I'm like, sorry, the world being
shown for, and then
yes, like
in
this
the
is the
subworld.
real world, and I'm like. Is that Morpheus? Like, what are we?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Walking down the street, slow motion, the music selection, the garb, the leather, everything.
Yeah, people forget that Blade came out before The Matrix,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
That's
But granted, they would have been working on the same thing at the same time. I think there was.
Yeah,
There would have been a
yeah.
parallel time where they were working on the same
definitely
thing.
production. It's not like the Wachowskis are. I mean, like the Matrix is a classic.
yeah,
like
sure.
there's I'm not tearing that down, but I'm just saying that like
Fuck
that's
them.
one of the things.
That's what I'm saying. Is
You can say that.
Oh damn, that's funny. That is funny.
man.
So we talked about. So what about the MCU? Like if you were to rate some
For the rates of the MCU, I'm gonna go Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, and it's not being because I'm black. It's a great film.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, first one.
First one.
First one. Obviously, Captain America, the first one. Civil War is one of my favorite collabos with everybody in it.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man. You have to put Iron Man.
yes.
Iron
So
Man
those are
kick things
probably my
off.
top 5.
That's right.
Yeah.
nice.
You
Yeah.
know what? I was gonna like. What do you got? Your top 3? There
Top
for the
3.
MCU?
I mean, wow, what's it called? Not Civil War, though. That one's up there. But what was the second one? Winter Soldier.
Winter
I
Soldier.
really like
Yeah,
Winter
that one was
Soldier.
awesome. Yeah.
That
I'm a
one was
big-
really good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Winter Soldier.
I really liked the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie because I was so skeptical of what they were going to be able to pull off there, and it was magic for me because it was so much different than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'd say I don't know. There's so many Marvel MCU movies that it's hard to really choose which ones.
You got to go through 23 of them now.
Yeah,
that's
You gotta-
right.
you gotta-
That's-
But one of the big ones for me is actually the Incredible Hulk. I really, really
You
liked
liked
it.
which
I
one?
liked it a
The
lot. The one with
Incredible.
Norton.
The one with Norton?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I like the Norton one too.
Yeah.
But it's always at the bottom of the list for me. Like
I-
every time
that's
I
the
go
thing.
through every
If
time I go through the list, it's
I
always
would
at the bottom.
probably it would probably definitely go down for sure. Like even comparing it to Civil War, I probably like Civil War more now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But because it's so controversial and I liked it so much more than I think anybody else I've ever spoken to, I'm going to throw it up there. I'll be the scapegoat for that movie. I think it's better than people give it credit for.
I feel like movies like that, like it's like you like them. A lot of people don't like them, and as a consequence, a lot of people don't talk about the movie. Right. So it just becomes that movie that nobody really talks about, and it becomes obvious that no one's talking about it. So it's almost like it's almost like pulling away everything, and it becomes to you, like to me, especially when I look at it, I'm like, it's in a sea on its own.
Yeah,
You never get so the emphasis is put on that. So now, like the Incredible Hulk for you has been raising because it's like, yo, guys, you need to remember this movie exists.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
Like we needed this character, and
Yeah.
there's a very good cutscene in the end that links all the movies back
that's
together.
true, yeah. That was one of the earliest ones.
That was the second
that
one.
was the second
linked one
cutscene.
to- Yeah, I mean, you had Nick Fury in the first Iron Man,
Iron
and
Man.
then that was the one that brought Iron Man into the Hulk. So it's
Right.
like, oh shit, we're crossing over movies too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
wild.
kind of a big deal.
You guys mentioned all the Winter Soldier and Guardians, but the other one that I feel like again doesn't get mentioned that I just love. I think Doctor Strange is fucking awesome.
It's a weird one though.
I like Doctor Strange because it gave me something that I've never fucking seen before. There is imagery in that movie that is just absolute. It's a literal kaleidoscope of a movie. And I love that imagination that's on display. So I can always value imagination, and I'll sacrifice some logic or sacrifice plot or character. Give me something I haven't seen before.
I regret not seeing that in theater.
So you didn't see that
That's
one?
the one movie I regret not seeing.
Yeah, I was skeptical to be honest with you. Like I was just like, oh, Doctor Strange. Like here we
that's
go.
kind of how I went
Yeah.
into it. I was like, oh, it's Doctor Strange. Like,
Yeah.
he's a good character, but
Yeah.
he's more of a side character to everybody else in
That's
the main
right.
lineup. So I'm just like, I'll wait for it to come out on DVD.
That's right. Yeah.
I bought the digital version.
Yeah.
And then I watched it at home on a regular 1080p TV, and I was like,
What a trip that would have
What?
been. Wow.
I fucked up. I told my wife we were watching, we were streaming it, and I was like, oh, man, I should have bought the DVD.
Yeah.
I'm watching the stream, and I'm like, I should have bought the DVD, and
That's
I'm like, you know
right.
what? Fuck, I should have gone to the theater and watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's definitely one of those movies that you get a lot from like that theatrical experience.
Yeah.
And it's one that I used to demo my home theater. The scene where
really? The fight scene with the
sorry, what was her Tilda Swinton's character? The elder?
Not the immortal.
the Eternal
one? No.
the
What's
Master
her,
Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. She's like
Yeah.
she punches. When he comes to her,
Yeah.
he doesn't believe her. She punches his soul
Out of
his body, and he goes on this like fucking total acid trip.
Yeah.
Like the one that like creeps me out is the hands growing out of the hands.
Oh, yeah,
growing out of
that
the
is-
hands,
that
and I'm
is
like,
the-
oh, this is fucking awesome. I was in the theater. I'm like, dude, that because also like the 5.1 surround sound on that is great because when she's talking, it's actually coming through like her voice is coming through the rear speakers and like all around. So it's like it's an absolute like totally immersive like visual audio experience. So Doctor Strange is the only one that you guys didn't mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good one, and
I would
I
throw
just
up there.
that's the one on my list I regret not seeing in theater.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, those ones all have their merits. I mean, like, there's a lot of the Marvel films out there that I feel like are very similar in tone and theme and villain and so many other things that, like, I think we mentioned a lot of the outliers, which is cool. Like, so, good lists.
So I was just going to switch it up here. There was a couple of other things from SDCC I wanted to mention, and we'll jump into Spider-Man after that. There's a game called The Man from Medan. I don't know if you guys have heard of that at all, but it was the studio that made Until Dawn, which is the cinematic horror game. They're doing a series of games, which they've basically built an anthology series like Creepshow, like Tales from the Crypt, but they're doing it in the form of games. And the first game in that series, there's a guy called... It's so funny you guys mentioned the curator earlier, but he's called the Curator, and I think he's in an art museum, and each painting is a different story, but it's a different game. Okay. So the first one is called The Man from Medan, and it's like... it looks like it takes place on a boat. It's like like a bunch of people on a boat, and they get stuck in the ocean, and then weird stuff starts happening. The reason I mention this is because the way we had played cinematic games like that, there's a... What was Hard Rain? I think is one of them. Detroit Become Human.
That was an awesome game.
Yeah,
Detroit Became Human.
Yeah,
that was an awesome game.
So that was actually free for PS on PSN, PlayStation Plus this month. So you should grab it if you haven't grabbed that that free game.
Okay.
But it's a story driven game. You're doing a lot of it's like a choose your own adventure. But I think there's like
there's three main storylines.
That's right.
Yeah, you're either I forget the pretty boy's name.
Oh,
Jesse Williams.
Blue eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse Williams' character.
The guy from Cabin in the Woods. He lives till almost the end. Dies in the van.
I can't remember his name.
I can't
He's
remember his
from
name.
Grey's Anatomy. He's the light-skinned guy from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
There's his character, and then there's the cop, the android cop, and then the android. She's like a caregiver or service giver. She's like
it's Lance Henriksen,
Yeah.
like the guy who plays
no
Bishop.
way.
I think is in the game. So it's pretty cool. But the reason this is cooler is because they've introduced a mode. Like first of all, there's a co-op mode.
Oh,
You can play with someone online. I find that not particularly compelling. Actually, the thing that they have though is called movie mode. So basically, you can play with like a bunch of people in the same room, like you're watching the game, and everyone gets to play. I don't know how it works exactly, but that's exactly how we played Until Dawn.
Yeah.
We just basically had a bunch of drinks, snacks, and we're just sitting there like, all right, throw Until Dawn on. One guy controls it, and then we could like choosing like what to say, what to do. A lot of it's very cinematic.
Choosing
like
by
watching
committee, basically.
choosing by committee. So I have a feeling like the way the game is going to work is that maybe people can vote on their phones of what choices to do, and if everyone like the highest score wins or something like that. But it's very innovative. Like it's not like any of those other cinematic games. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. Like The Man from Medan. The only other thing I wanted to mention was I don't know if you guys are familiar. Well, obviously you are. Joe Hill is Stephen King's son.
Okay, no.
So he's written a series called Lock and Key for IDW. Great like horror writer. Great novel. He's got a show on TV now on I think it's AMC called Nosferatu.
Okay, I've seen that. Yeah.
So DC killed their Vertigo imprint recently. So Vertigo would have been the ones that are like publishing like Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, Transmetropolitan, all of these like really like what at the time were like really edgy, dark, mature like audience material. They replaced it with DC Black Label, so they're putting a bunch of stuff under that, and then an imprint like a sub portion of Black Label. They gave Joe Hill his own label called Hill House Comics. Oh, nice. So he's running his own horror label under DC. So basically, we take my reaction to Blade, and then when they announced that Joe Hill is getting his own label under DC, I'm like, yes! And
so someone's going to be back at the comic book store.
Yeah, that's right. So they're releasing the first book. I think it's called Basket Heads or Basket Full of Heads, something like that.
Yeah, those sound very different.
Yeah, it's two very different titles.
Might be Basket Full of Heads.
Yeah. A quick lowdown. I was just reading a quick summary of this book. Like these, a couple. I think they move into an old New England home, and it's filled with a bunch of these artifacts, right? And some of them are like old Norse Viking artifacts and stuff. There's a home invasion, and the girl, to defend herself, grabs one of the artifacts, and it's an axe. She grabs it, and this axe has certain properties. It can lop people's heads off in one strike, no matter what. But the thing about it is that the heads keep talking.
Oh my goodness!
After they die, so that's the about the end of the book where I stopped reading. I'm like, okay, I don't want to know any more about this. I'm like, you've already sold me. Like, I feel like she's going to be like collecting heads. There's a bunch of talking heads in like a basket. Like,
that's nuts. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that.
But yeah, so that's just one of the books. But there's like I think 4 other books that are limited run series, like a couple of issues each. But yeah, no, just something to get excited about, like, or at least for me to get excited about.
I've liked most of Joe Hill stuff. I've liked Lock and Key, and what I've read of Nosferatu. I was listening to the audiobook. I just didn't like it. The audiobook itself.
Yeah.
There's something about the presentation of it. I think I probably want to read it.
Yeah.
It seems like something that's more immersive, like I could get into. Like
I'd want to actually focus the time. I find with audiobooks a lot of the times, it's almost just like getting through it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying as much attention to it as I should. Like, I feel like Nosferatu.
Well, you don't have a commute. Like, like you guys both don't have. You guys don't have a commute. I've got a pretty long commute in the morning, maybe like an hour 15 or something like that. Yeah. Seriously.
Even if I did have to drive to work, I'm not driving an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, but it's public transit, hour 15. So I'm like, all right. So I'm sitting on the bus. Are you
trying to sell it to us? Like, oh no, I'm like, it's public transit.
Public transit. I'm helping the environment.
You gotta take a bus in Scarborough. Trust me, it's dope. It's amazing. It's really like it's an amazing cultural experience. It'll enrich your lives. But yeah, like. That's where I crush most of that stuff, right? All the podcasts and the audiobooks and stuff. Yep. So I find if you don't have that, like maybe like mowing the lawn, I'll listen to it, or like cooking, I might listen to it, but like not a long stretch of time like that, that I would have at home. That I wouldn't be watching a movie or just doing something else. You know what I mean? So I can see that it doesn't grab your attention that way, the way it does for me, because I just got those long stretches of time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Did you see that Cats trailer by any chance?
Oh, good God. Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah. Sorry, we're talking about horror.
I saw the Cats trailer. So me and my wife went to the movies. We went to go see Lion King. And we call it slumming it because we sat in AVX. We didn't go to VIP. So we called it slumming.
Why even bother? I am never getting this guy to take public transit. That's just like never happening.
Yeah. So we went to we tried to get the VIP tickets and they were all sold out. Yeah. Because for timing to drop off the son and get to the movie theater didn't work out. So we ended up getting like regular tickets. And then that trailer came on, and we both looked at each other and said, what the fuck is this? And then we saw, like, what's that guy's name? James Gordon?
James Gordon?
Yeah, he was in the trailer, and then we saw, like, Taylor Swift, and we were like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? This is a movie I don't need to see. And I looked at her, and she's like, that looks stupid. And I'm like, that's a Sunday afternoon when it's on cable, and you're cooking or cleaning the house. Yeah. Type of movie. Like, that just plays in the background because you just need some kind of noise while you're vacuuming.
It looks terrifying. It's, like, profoundly disturbing when I'm watching it. James Corden looks... I'm getting, like, Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat kind of feeling from that. And also, then Jason Derulo... I saw him.
Oh
in
yeah,
that,
when I saw that, I was like, yeah.
whoa.
No, there's something
I
off.
was like, what? I'm like, maybe no, not
Some things should not come to screen. Leave that shit on Broadway. Like, just leave that there.
I
Just
didn't
leave it
realize
practical. The CG.
practical.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, I'm saying let's do practical.
Practical. Winning champion. You're talking about practical.
Yeah.
Listen. You can't. If you did that practical, that would be like the island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
But like,
The island of
but
Dr.
like
Moreau.
worse.
Yeah, and you know why I'm suggesting that? One of two things is going to happen. One, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to be like, "Wow, this was crazy how they were able to do this. This looks amazing." Or the filmmakers going to be like, "Yo, we need to abort now.
Yeah.
Let's save all the money. We'll do some sort of a horror movie with the footage we
Yeah,
got,
dude,
and call it a day. We'll just take
cut it.
all of the lights. We'll bring it down to a nice, dark, scary kind of texture, and then that's
Some
it.
blood, and we're good to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
right.
We're
Oh my
fine. We
God.
can digitize the blood, no problem. We need to animate some tails.
Yeah.
That's it.
Terrifying.
No, it's just
yeah, no,
there's
that
just too. It's CG overload, and it's not.
It's not even a good
convincing.
CG overload.
No,
Like,
it just looks distracting. Like it's distracting. The CG in it is just distracting.
It is. I didn't realize they're actually the size of cats. Like if you watch the
They shrunk them
trailer,
down.
they're actually like. If you look, they're jumping around in a bed or whatever, but the bed is massive. Like, so I think that they're actually supposed to be
paid a lot more
the
attention than I
size
did.
of cat. Well, yeah. I mean, I was trying not to look. I was trying to not look at the monstrosity that was Jason Derulo directly in the eyes. So I was
Yeah.
like looking at the background.
That one wink he gives him.
Oh,
Like,
my- oh.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But somehow Idris Elba manages to look like the coolest motherfucker
cat.
in the world.
But he always does.
That's what I
Idris,
mean.
man. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what he's doing. Do you
They
see that?
CG'd everything on him, and then he just still stands out as just like badass. Like he's just in the back. He's got his coat. He's just hanging off the rafters, like. I don't know. It's like what?
Do you see that Square Box commercial he did? Where he's
No.
singing "I'm Just a Little Girl"?
No.
Oh my goodness! He has
just
this
ridiculous.
commercial for Squarebox, like the
Yeah.
website builder.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there on a street corner singing "I Wish I Was Just a Little Girl."
Yeah.
And then they cut to a scene of him in a boxing ring, and he's like, "I'm like, what is going on?" But then it's like it's Idris though. Like it's,
He just
it,
does.
It just
Yo, Idris, you can't mess with that guy. Like, no matter where you put him, like, I think Idris is just like fan casting for everything. Like
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, Idris Elba. Like whatever. Yeah, Jabba the Hutt, Idris Elba. Like just Idris for everyone. As soon
Those
as
are
he-
very strange
Yeah,
roles.
I know.
I thought you were gonna go with Bond or
but
something like
that's
that.
what I mean.
Like,
Because Bond is
Jabba.
too.
Bond already blacked him out.
Yeah.
They already said- Pun intended.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
my
man, that's
God.
funny. But like he gets fan casted in absolutely everything. And then like the Dark Tower came out, and I was really excited about the Dark Tower.
That was
like I was, but you know, like
it was poorly done, but I still liked it.
Yeah.
yeah.
still like it.
Actually,
It's
you know
got
what?
redeeming qualities. To
Yeah.
it. Like
You literally just reminded me because like I think I'm gonna revisit it. I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
But,
That was a
I'm
book.
gonna
That
check
was a
it out.
movie my wife actually wanted to go see. She's
Yeah.
like, "Come with me to go see this," and I'm like, "You want to go see it?" Usually it's me saying, "Let's go see this."
Yeah.
She's
right.
like, "No, it's a book I read back when I was in school."
so she read the
book,
Tower.
and she's like, "I want to see what they did to it."
Excellent.
Okay.
And then we went and watched it, and she's like, "That didn't follow the book at all." Yeah, she was just upset.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, "At least I got Idris on screen for an hour and a half."
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up.
And I was like, "All
straight
right,
up.
cool. We're good that way."
Yeah, yeah. I think on a second viewing, without like the expectations in check, I think I could probably enjoy that movie a little bit more. But yeah. So I think we're gonna jump in.
Yeah.
you got a line?
No, got nothing for this. All right,
I don't have anything.
ladies and gentlemen, this is Spider-Man: Far From Home. Let's do this. General thoughts, Antoine.
General thoughts. Fantastic film. Definitely go see it.
Yeah.
Try and leave it spoiler free for the first little bit.
Yeah,
You said,
first
right?
little bit. Yeah.
Definitely go see it. Go in there with an open mind. It does have some stuff from the old movies, so you should at least watch or at least understand the what happened in Endgame and what's the other one before that?
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least know what's going on with those two movies, and then
Sure,
you can
yeah.
watch Spider-Man and understand what's happening.
Sure.
But if you didn't see those two, you can kind of get through. You can muscle through the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, you get the gist.
You
of
get the
it.
gist
You're
of it in
like,
the first
Oh, that
few
happened.
minutes,
yeah.
They seem to be making a big deal about this one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a good job of recapping, though. When you really think about it.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good job at recapping it.
Yeah, it's a decent recap.
Yeah.
I would even go as far as to say that, I mean, I haven't even seen Homecoming, and I watched that movie. I didn't feel like I missed a beat.
You don't have to see Homecoming to see this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
This is more. I feel like this is more of a sequel to, like you were just saying, Infinity War and Endgame than it is to Homecoming itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Homecoming was more of an introduction of the character in his own setting, and I liked it a lot better than this film. This film I felt was kind of just hum-ho for most of it. Like, it was kind of...
Wait, hold on. Can we just rewind that? Hum-ho?
Hum-ho.
You know what? You're a rebel. You're a rebel. You're just like reversing. You're just like, yo,
hum-ho,
everyone.
man.
You know what?
You've never heard of hum-ho before?
Ho-hum is too normal.
Oh, shit. Is it ho-hum?
I was like, wait a second.
Shit.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm going to stick with it. Hum-ho.
I'm to say, you're not French. How you spell that backwards?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to stick with hum-ho because I want to coin this. Hashtag hum-ho. No, I just thought, like, for the most part, I felt that a lot of it was very predictable, which I don't know if well, I kind of do. I thought at first it was a symptom of knowing the comic book origins of the characters in the film. But then I asked Nisha, and she was just like, yeah, no, I saw that. You know, I saw the twists coming from a mile away for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man I think that we've had on film, from Peter Parker to Spider-Man. We can get into that a little bit.
He's the best
more.
balance, I think, yeah.
Yes,
I agree with that. He's the best balance, yeah.
And I like all the characters that are in it. It's just that I felt like there was a lot of focus on kind of the kids and the situation, where there wasn't enough focus on the characters themselves to really make you invested in anybody else other than really Spider-Man himself.
Right.
That was kind of my beef with the film. The visuals, some of the ideas in it are really cool, but overall, I just thought it was kind of a bit of a lackluster way to end. I guess, what is it, Phase 3 or Infinity Saga?
The Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but I mean, it's still got its moments. It's still really fun. Visually, there's some really cool stuff in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Yeah.
I feel like this. I feel like kind of echoes some of those thoughts. I feel like this is just a very safe Marvel movie.
Yeah, they took a simple step just to kind of balance everything out.
It feels, and if I were to, if sort of the Infinity Saga, you know, was kind of like everything leading up to Endgame, you know, like the novel of like everything that, you know, came to a head in Endgame. This is like an epilogue. You know, in the story, like at the end of a novel, you read like the last maybe 10, 15 pages are just kind of like, and here's how everything sort of fell out for all of these characters.
Yeah.
Well, and I could really appreciate an epilogue because it gives you closure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I was watching this movie, I was like, this is a very just safe and and I was telling you guys before, like, imagination is so important for me. Like, I really want to see something, like, for something to stay in my mind. I want to see something that I haven't seen before, and this movie didn't give me a whole lot of that.
Right.
So it was just kind of like, and we'll get into more of the details, obviously, but those are just kind of my general thoughts. It just didn't stick with me. Like, a couple days later, I almost kind of forgot what happened.
Yeah.
Except for the very end, which, you know, blew my socks off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you're going,
Yeah.
if and when you go and see this film, stay for the post-credit scenes because, there's two.
I think they're both worth it.
They're both worth it.
One of those
the
cases
first
where,
one, the mid-credit scene, is without a doubt worth it.
Critical.
For me, it was better than the whole, like, that moment, that 2-minute post-credit scene was better than the entire film.
Yeah, it's critical.
It was critical to see.
Critical.
Yeah.
And then the latter part, I think, is really... It wasn't as exciting, but I think it's really setting up the broad landscape of what we're going to see in the next 5 years.
The second post-credit scene was for those of us who know the comics and know the background.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was for us.
Yes, 100%.
It's like, here's where we might go. We're just going to dangle this in front of you.
Yeah.
Let your imagination run wild.
Yeah.
Because we can go 5 million different routes
Yes.
with what we saw in that second post-credit scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool.
Cool. Anything else on general thoughts before we dive into spoiler territory?
Let's start spoiling the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, let's spoil it.
All right.
All right.
We're how many weeks behind? Like,
Yeah, that's right.
you haven't seen it yet. That's too bad on you.
That's right.
You screwed up.
So, did you want to kick off with like the recap?
I don't have it.
All right.
Let's go by memory. You know what? Start by memory, and then I'll correct you. Go.
All right, here we go.
Go. Oh, wait.
Right at the beginning, we start with just a recap. I think they're just like news broadcasts about what they called the blip. So the blip is 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. 5 years. And they take the exact, and I kind of appreciated this. They took the exact opposite approach that Endgame did. Right? Endgame was like a very morose, like approach to everyone's gone. But this is like it's already happened, and this is a very comedic approach to how the blip has affected society.
Yeah.
Some people have aged, some people haven't, and I actually liked that. I was actually really into that whole thing about people coming back.
Yeah, I liked it because there was like a basketball game going on at one point,
Yeah.
and the marching band came like marching in at the exact same time while the ball's going up the court. I was like, that's how it should. That's how it should have happened.
Yeah, that's right.
It's stuff that you never would have. I certainly never considered any of the stuff that they showed, and then all of a sudden you see it, and you're like, "Oh shit, yeah, that was a really good idea."
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if they're bringing it right back to the point where everyone snapped, you would have been in the gym.
That's right.
Preparing for a marching band or whatever, or you're in this house,
Right.
Yeah.
sleeping while someone else is in your bed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's that is terrifying.
Yeah,
that is terrifying. But yeah, no, I could genuinely say that I enjoyed that first part. It was a very lighthearted approach to sort of
Reminding you
of what's happened, but with a very comedic twist.
Yeah.
And then we're quickly introduced to Spider-Man coming back. Sort of doing what he does. He's at a charity.
yeah.
It's at charity
With
at
his
the
aunt.
What is
What's
her name?
Can we just talk
Marissa
about
Tomei,
Marissa Tomei
Jesus
for a
I could
second?
spend a podcast on Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, this is just Marissa Tomei the movie.
Yeah.
Also, Spider-Man's in it.
Yeah.
Can I just say Marissa Tomei's been fine since like
Yo, My Cousin Vinny, man.
My Cousin Vinny, what's it called? A Different World.
Yeah.
Oh,
buddy.
She was like the only white person in an all black cast, and I was like, she's black. To me, Marissa Tomei is black because she don't age.
She doesn't.
She doesn't
not
age.
age.
She just got better with age, which is
Yeah.
what usually happens to most fine-looking black women.
Yeah.
So
Because like I remember watching My Cousin Vinny, and I'm like, she was just like a total smoke show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But all I ever thought about when I was watching My Cousin Vinny was, how did he end up with her? Like, how did
He's friends
all
with
of
the
that-
casting director.
Joe
all it
Pesci,
was.
mad respect, because like I really, My Cousin Vinny, Joe Pesci is absolutely hysterical. But when they were
yeah.
writing this, they were like, these two together. I'm like
you did something.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
What's going on here?
That's pretty much like every Adam Sandler film, though.
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
But then again, he's the one that's casting it too, so he's like, yeah, get her.
Click. That does bring me to
Oh,
Click.
Kate
Beckinsale? That's not fair. That's not fair.
Kate
That is my all-time favorite. Like Kate Beckinsale is like on the
Yes.
list. Like if I ever meet Kate Beckinsale,
That's
my
right.
wife knows that
That's
it's a problem.
right. Yeah. So
It's
you
a
got
problem.
a hall pass for Kate.
Yeah, I got
Beckinsale?
a hall pass from
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale.
It's a good hall pass.
We were just talking about hall passes for like actual celebrities.
What was-
Kate Beckinsale? I was like, I was God, what's the girl?
You mentioned,
Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
Hayden
yeah.
Panettiere, because like she was in Scream 4. Like
She's
I loved
Canadian,
her.
isn't she?
Is she?
Ooh, I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
know. Yeah, all right, maybe get some Canadian love.
No, that's the other one. That's the one who married that hockey player. The one who's on Pop and Cast for Kids.
Oh, Alicia Cuthbert.
Alicia Cuthbert. Yeah, she's a
that's
Canadian
right.
one. I always get them
yes,
mixed up.
yeah.
I
She's
always get them
also
mixed up.
really good looking too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Hayden Panettiere, Alicia Cuthbert. Hayden Panettiere for me was like, even when we were playing.
She's the cheerleader in Heroes.
Yes.
Ah, see, I gotta
Save the
associate
cheerleader,
them
save
with
the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A small tangent. We were playing. I was about to say Dying Light, not Dying Light. Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
And she's in it. Like
really?
Rami Malek is also in it. These actors are in the game, and she's in it. And I'm like, the only thing I wanted to do, like for the whole game, I'm like, Hayden can't die. Right? Hayden just can't die. Like, we cannot have that. If she dies, I will legitimately be sad.
Rage quit.
Like,
No matter.
Didn't she die at the very end?
and whose fault? It was my fault.
Yeah.
It was my fault. There's a part at the end where, like, there are these moments where, like, there are monsters on screen, and so they
You gotta tap the right button at the right time.
Tap the right button at the right. So he killed somebody else. That man lost his head because you tapped, like X when you were supposed to
Yeah,
tap
it
triangle.
was an unfortunate why.
you,
I think.
you definitely fucked up, and you just his head went flying. I'm like, what did you do? But for Hayden at the end, you have to keep the controller still, and like it happens randomly. So like you're behind the thing, it's like hold the controller still. I'm like,
Put it on the table, man.
I'm
What's
just
wrong
like,
with you?
but it's rumbling.
Oh.
So it's like rumbling. It's like hold it still, and the thing is sneaking around the corner, and I couldn't hold it still enough, and Hayden got skewered. And dude, guys, I was legit sad when it happened. I was just speechless. Like he was sitting next to me. He's like, it was so funny. He's like, dude, you fucked up. I'm like, Hayden, no.
Can I tell you, I was legitimately mad at you when that happened to him. Like, you lost another. Like, I was mad at myself for the first one.
Yeah.
But then when she got it, I was like,
God, it was just. It's just
life
life wasn't worth living.
Still. That being said, I didn't know that the thing was
It
vibrating.
was shaking because when you put it
Are you
on
sure
the
it wasn't
table,
just you?
No.
Oh, no, please don't die.
I'm pretty sure they're doing that because when you put it on the table, it'll like
Yeah, I'll skip
it'll
across
like
the
skip
table.
across the table.
True,
and it'll
true,
move.
true, yeah. Smart.
Anyway,
Smart.
yeah. So that was a random tangent, but yes, she is fine and she is an aunt and Happy is
Good
kinda,
old Happy.
Yeah.
I rate Happy for that.
Yeah.
He's now on my good graces. 'Cause of
Yeah.
that.
Love it. Sorry, back to Spider-Man.
Oh,
Jump back to
Happy Hogan. All
Yeah,
right,
Happy
sorry.
Hogan,
yeah.
Got me.
And so is it implied that they're together or like I'm confused? Like is he trying to like court her? Is like what's going on?
I think he was trying to get with her.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because at the end, remember, Spider-Man was like, "So what's going on here?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're together." And she's like, "We're just having fun."
Oh yeah, summer fling. That's
Yeah, summer fling,
Summer
yeah.
fling. Yeah.
Which, even if that's the case, good job, Happy.
Yeah, good job, Happy.
Good job, buddy.
Should change his name to Thrilled. Like, he's just...
There we go. That's why we keep you around.
Thanks,
man.
man.
For those quips.
really,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
really
you for that.
tacky quips. I'll do what I can.
So what happens after that? And let me know if I'm missing anything. But
Yeah.
there's a big school trip coming up,
Yep.
and he's got to pack his shit and get out of there and go to Europe.
Yep.
Decides not to take the spider suit because he's like,
Yeah,
I
he
don't
decides
wanna-
not to take his original suit, the suit that Tony built him,
Yeah.
and then also not bring the Iron Man suit, the
Iron Spider.
Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, that's right. So he's like, I'm leaving all my suits at home
Yeah,
because I don't want any of that to permeate my vacation. I just want to be a normal kid, and that's kind of the theme of this movie is that he's trying to issue his responsibility for because he's got his sights on
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Yeah.
So they
Let's
end
also
up,
remember that his Spidey sense isn't also working properly either.
so this is a weird thing. I
don't like the rebranding. I don't understand why they have to
the
call
Peter
it a tingle.
the Peter
The
Tingle
Peter
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the word tingle just doesn't
Oh, I think
sound...
it's supposed to sound. I think it's is
supposed
it
to be like-
Tingle or is it Peter Tickle? I thought it
No,
was a
Peter Tingle.
Tingle.
Oh, is it
I think it's
Tingle?
supposed to be like puberty-ish
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
It sounds like a guy that's like in a trench coat and you don't know whether he's naked under the trench coat. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
one of these weird words that I don't like. It's like the word moist, tingle. Like there's something about those words that there's just
Moist.
yeah.
Oh,
You know? It's just there's something about those words that just hearing them, even if they're in like not a dirty context, it's just you don't want to hear that word. You know?
If you had the words moist and tingle in the same sentence, there's no way
That's
you're
game
coming out
over.
unscathed.
No, you're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
I'm going to jail.
Put both those in a sentence. I'm trying to think about how to put those in a sentence right now.
I don't know.
Nothing that's safe for the internet.
No.
That's for sure. Yeah.
for the internet.
But yeah, so all the suits are left at home. He goes to leave, and he's trying to get with Mary Jane, and his buddy. I got to tell you, I can't remember his name now. His like best friend.
Yeah.
I actually legitimately found this guy annoying.
Did you?
Yeah, I not super annoying, not to the point where I'm like I'm not enjoying this anymore, but I'm just like he's sort of got that one track sort of comedy that he's playing,
Ned.
and it just gets to the point where I was like, okay, like I get it with
Yeah.
him. And there's two other characters that have one note comedy. I think they're both the teachers.
Yeah.
That are on the thing. They get screen time to do like a little. It's like I feel like they're on an SNL skit.
Yeah.
But I feel like JB Smooth.
the best. I love JB Smooth.
But the
Sorry,
thing is, though,
JB.
is like he is
Who's JB Smooth?
the black teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He is an awesome comedian.
yeah.
Oh, I
But
don't
but
doubt
he
it.
is. But in this movie, I felt like he landed flat most of the time for me.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it
Like
was
for someone
kind
who they brought in someone who is so seasoned in the game of
Yeah.
Yeah.
comedy and one line quips
Yeah.
that
He was underutilized. He
Yeah.
could have been better. However, that being said, there's just something about him that makes me laugh because I think of him on like Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yeah.
and I start dying just seeing him make any type of comedic gestures, faces. There's just something about JB Smooth. That
I will
always
say,
gets
yeah,
me.
his facial expressions every single time he was on screen were phenomenal.
Okay.
But his lines were just like, oh, come on.
They kind of like fell
Give him
flat.
more.
Yeah.
Give
Come on,
him
like,
more.
They kind
yeah.
of fell flat.
Yeah.
So we jump in. These guys go like shove off to Europe, and we get our first sort of. They're in Venice, I think, and we get our first. Then we get our first sort of like superhero moment attack.
Yeah.
And it's like this water elemental kind of that comes in. So what do you guys think of this action scene?
Well, we skipped over the.
Oh, did we skip something?
We
Sorry.
skipped over the Nick Fury part where he meets.
Right, that was the very beginning.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We skipped over that.
That's right. Whether people are getting the darts or
No,
Where they meet Mysterio for the first time when he fights the first elemental of Sandman.
it's before you even see Spider-Man.
Before you even
right
see
at the
Spider-Man.
beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they've already met. Oh, right.
They
That's
were
right.
in
They already
Mexico
met in the
or
desert.
New Mexico?
Yeah,
In the desert,
in
New
the
Mexico,
desert.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So they meet him, and that's the scene that I also find really funny because I feel like Mysterio kind of like pops up on the screen from the bottom of the screen. It's like he's on a spring.
Yeah.
Or something. He's
Yeah.
like he's like he's just like whoop. I'm like whoa. He's kind of like a Jack in the Box. That's what it feels like. But then like what did you think? So you see him right? That's right at the beginning. I'm sorry, I missed that. But so you see his suit. What do you think of the suit?
I
And
think
the dome, the fishbowl, and
I am
the whole
100%
thing.
good with it. 100%
Yeah,
okay
looked,
with it.
It looked
pretty
perfect.
pretty good.
It looked
I
like
was-
it came straight from the comic book and onto a screen. Like obviously, there's going to be details you can't obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
You can draw anything you want. You
That's
can't always
right.
make everything you
Yeah.
want.
Turning it a little bit more in the armor way of
Yeah.
details versus the skin tight green thing.
Leotard?
It makes a
Leotard.
lot more sense.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in
I
the
feel
grand
like that's.
scheme.
I think like a lot of superhero costume designs take that route.
Yeah.
Take that like more of the armor sort of route. Although I don't know if you guys find this, but like why does every material need to be like basketball? Like material.
Oh,
Like,
the,
with,
Under
like,
Armour?
yeah, the riveted, like
Yeah.
ribbed for her pleasure, fucking like material that like everything's like that for some reason. It's like, whoa, we're making Spider-Man suits. Like, why does it look like it's made out of basketballs?
Cap,
Like,
why do you have spider suit on? They like the
And
ribs.
it's just the
The
gloves.
ribbing. Yeah,
It's just the gloves.
It's just the gloves.
So it's like I don't know. That just weirds me out. But they went the armor approach on this.
Yeah.
I love the fact they went with the dome because that's just like
absolutely.
Yeah.
it just sounds all wrong. But yeah, like the fishbowl on the top because I think some folks have shied away from some of the zanier thing. That costume reminds me of like Black Manta from Aquaman.
Yes.
Because I just like they went for it. Like,
They went for, yeah.
Black Manta shows up, I'm just like, look at that magnificent looking,
Yeah.
goofy looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
And when I see Mysterio, I thought exactly the same thing. I'm like, he's got the fishbowl on, there's just mist going on in there. I'm like, this is great.
This is perfect.
It's
Yeah.
so good,
Yeah,
so good. So, so he fought the first elemental. The second elemental shows up in Venice. Let me
Yeah.
know if I'm missing anything.
No, you're
Feel
good
free
now.
to take over anytime.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
You're completely good now.
Okay. So the second elemental shows up in Venice, and it's the water elemental. And so we get our first, I think what would I say, is our first big action scene. So like with Spider-Man suitless, not wearing his suit,
Yeah.
kind of jumping around, and you get Mysterio showing up and sort of like saving the day. I thought this was, and this is kind of I think where the movie falls a little flat for me. I think that the action was just, I was watching it, and I was kind of like, okay, there it is, and I wasn't too impressed with it. Like it wasn't showing me anything I hadn't seen before, and it was very heavily like CG action, especially with like a water elemental. It's like it's hard to make that super convincing. But just to add to that, they kind of, because of the oh my god, twist later, it kind of explains why these elementals were sort of lame.
Yeah.
Hum-ho,
Kind of
if you will.
sketchy,
So
yeah.
it's like, yeah, hum-ho. Yeah, exactly. And so it kind of redeems itself in that way. It's almost like they did it on purpose. It's
Yeah.
like these elements, I'm like, this is like Saturday morning cartoon, like Goofy. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, like,
I originally thought that's what they were going for because I knew it was an end of a saga, so I
Yeah.
thought they were just going to go for like a goofy.
Yeah, sort of.
We're going to close it all off because the movie started off a little goofy, other than the scene with the first fight with, well, not even the first fight when he just shows
just
off his powers.
obliterates the thing. Yeah.
It started off kind of hokey, like
With the blip.
with
and
the
like,
blip
yeah,
and
exactly,
everybody jumping
like,
in and all that.
really
So I
comedic.
thought, oh, okay, and then
Yeah.
you know he's on stage in his Iron Spider suit and just stand there like
That's
for
right.
everybody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like there's no fight scene, there's no nothing. Like the trailer showed a fight scene for the first opening act, and there
Yeah.
was no fight scene. So it
that's
was like,
right.
okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna go hokey. And I thought it was gonna be like they're in the back high fiving each other. I was like, oh, this is gonna be totally like
It's like a victory lap.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
totally Saturday morning cartoon. We're
Yeah.
good to go. Like I'm not gonna worry about this. I turned my mind off at that point.
That's
like,
right. That's right.
Didn't pay any attention anymore. Like I didn't focus on the nitty gritty. Like you're like,
Yeah.
I was like, yep.
I can't help it. Like it's like it's hard to turn off, but yeah, like they're definitely setting a tone. But the twist kind of makes you go back and be like, oh, like that's why it was kind of like that. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No,
scene?
I think I like the action scene better than you did. Okay. I seeing fluids in a big action scene.
Fluids.
Sorry. See, that's a tingle.
Are they moist?
Are they moist?
Fluids. Fighting Spider-Man is causing him to tingle.
Oh, okay, great.
There you go. There's the
Sounds
sentence.
awful.
Boom. There's the sentence. You got it.
That's right.
Take a sip for that one.
So, anyways, no, because fluid simulations, CG, blah 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 blah. But seeing the way that they did like an elemental that's made completely of water and how destructive he really is as he's going through Venice, it was kind of interesting. Like I feel like, and this is going to be a terrible comparison, but one of the last times I'd seen something so destructive in Venice, no, not The Mummy, was oh my god, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh my goodness, you brought that back.
I
brought it
did.
back.
I did. I
brought
didn't
that
have
back.
to, but
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
goodness.
I'm
You know what's
sorry.
interesting about that? It's funny you mentioned that. Because you know who directed the League of Extraordinary?
Stephen Norrington.
Stephen
Yeah. And he quit. He's like, I'm done.
Sean Connery and Stephen Norrington quit Hollywood after that
Yeah,
movie.
after that movie, they were done.
I still have a soft spot for that movie, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, that's
That'll
right.
just be me defending that movie.
I don't think you need to...
I'll help you. I'll help you.
Really?
If you want help defending that movie, I will help you.
All right.
I can get behind. I can enjoy it.
There's
Yeah.
some stuff in there that's redeeming. I'm
Yeah,
not
there's-
going to say it's a good movie.
Practical Mr. Hyde is also my favorite in that movie.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, like
Yes.
just as a
The
small
transformation's bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the practical...
tangent. The practical, like
Yeah.
the way he looks when he's
Yeah.
walking around. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways,
Yeah.
let's not talk about that too much. But no, I actually enjoyed the opening scene. But then after that, you get brought into like what's his name? Nick Fury gets brought in.
Yep.
Was he brought in? He was brought in before or after the water monster?
It's after.
Was it after?
Yeah.
After he comes in after because he grabs
Right.
Peter at the hotel.
Yes.
At the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
at that point, he gives him. Well, he gets the suit en route to wherever the next place is that Nick Fury ends up making his group go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then at that point, what's the next elemental they're chasing at that point?
Sandman.
Was it Sandman?
Sandman.
Okay.
I'm calling them by their real names.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You got
but
Sandman, Hydro Man, Molten.
Molten.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Are these legit?
These are legit villains.
No, I know that they're villains, but these were never meant to be those villains. These are just.
It's kind of
I
alluded
think
to.
I think it was alluded to. I
Yeah.
think they were trying to, like, during the trailer, they didn't really show. They showed
No,
Mysterio
you
fight.
kind of- yeah.
You kind of get the sense that, oh, that's Sandman. Oh, that's Hydro Man. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
Molten Man.
That's
Like,
right, yeah.
You know these guys. Like
Yeah.
you've seen them before. You know, and like going into it, I was like, they're finally gonna redeem Sandman.
Yeah.
They're finally gonna do Hydro Man proper. Like
Yeah.
it looks like the Hydro Man from the cartoon. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, but then
What's who played Sandman again in the
Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden
Yeah,
Church.
it was the third one.
yeah, let's not get started on that.
That's one I will not
Don't
defend.
want to pull the port
I'm
on
sorry,
that one.
Spider-Man 3 did not.
It missed on every
I've seen
level.
it once. I've seen that movie once.
I own
Can
it, and
barely remember
I have it sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah,
Because
that's right.
Only reason why, and it could have saved itself if it could have saved it for me if Topher Grace, if you're watching this or you're listening to this, go fuck yourself. Because all you had to do was read one comic book. Venom never says I.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
Never says I.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
If he had said we are Venom at that
Yeah.
one scene, I would have been fine the rest of the movie. I could have shut my mind off and
That's
watched
right.
your stupidness go
Yeah.
down. I could have
Yeah,
watched I could have watched Tobey Maguire dance down the street all night long.
That is funny.
But they screwed up.
But they
Venom
screwed up
real
with Venom
hard.
not saying we.
I don't remember that. But that
You're,
is a huge
you're bringing
part.
it back, and
that
yes,
is a
I
huge
did
part of his
remember. I
character.
caught that in
never
the
said
movie
we.
itself too. At the time, I completely. I've written off Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3
in my
doesn't
head.
exist anymore.
But
Damn.
yeah, no, that
Yeah,
was
he doesn't
huge.
say we. So that's a massive part of his character. Quick tangent. Venom, Tom Hardy, yay or nay?
Love it.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
I've watched that movie more than once.
Yeah.
So have I.
liked it.
And I'm like, this is goofy shit. And then I'm like, I didn't like that movie. And then I put it on again, and I'm like, why am I watching this movie
Yeah.
again? Because I think I like it.
It was one of those movies I walked out of like, I don't think it was a great movie, but I enjoyed it. Like
Yeah.
That's how I walked
yeah,
out of it.
exactly.
That's how I walked out. I was
Like,
like, that wasn't great, but I loved it. And I
It
was
was
like,
fun.
I was like, I wish they would just tie it in somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, yeah.
But I'm like, oh yeah, it's San Francisco, it's blah blah blah, and I was like, I told my wife on the drive home because she wanted to see it because she's in love with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, yeah.
She
Oh
has
yeah.
an
So am I,
infatuation with
man.
him.
Yo, Tom Hardy's the
Yeah, like
Tom Hardy's the
she has a
shit.
man crush on him and Idris Elba, so anything that those two are in, she's down to go.
Yeah.
Except for the new Fast and Furious movie, whatever. She doesn't want to deal with that because she's a big Paul Walker. Like Paul Walker's her main. Dude.
Oh, really? So she doesn't
want to touch anything that's not the main line,
the core.
Fast
So
and
no
Furious.
Hobbs and
So
Shaw.
no Hobbs and Shaw for her. But yeah, on the drive home, she's like, "That was good," but she's like, "I wish it just would have." I was like, "I just wish it would have tied in somehow." She's like, "Yeah, for some reason I feel the same way."
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting that we all kind of like we recognize that it wasn't a very good movie, but it was just like but I still enjoyed it. It's like
was
I don't
fun.
know. I guess it would be the definition of a guilty pleasure, but like I don't know.
I
Like
wouldn't
there's
even go that far. Like, it wasn't that bad that it's a guilty pleasure. It's just enough that, you know, it wasn't the greatest movie of all time. It wasn't Citizen Kane, but it was fun. And it didn't take itself too seriously.
No, it didn't.
Like,
Yeah.
it had fun with the source material. It found a really nice kind of dynamic between the symbiote and Eddie, and it was
it's
just, it worked out well.
symbiote.
Symbiote?
Sorry.
Is
Proper pronunciation.
That's not how they
Every
pronounce
syllable?
it in
That's
the
right.
92 cartoon,
That's
man,
right.
or 93, whatever it was.
But yeah, and also comes with a batshit insane Tom Hardy performance. So
yeah.
even if the movie tanks for you, like the rest of it, that performance of his is just insane.
Yeah.
He's totally crazy. It's the complete opposite of like all of his other performances. So
Yeah.
it's like it's at least interesting.
Yes.
Like it's at least
Yes.
interesting. So Hydro Man is defeated by Mysterio with Spider-Man's help.
Yep.
And they've got this like a couple of scenes with this budding romance between Peter Parker and Mary Jane. So I'll be the first to tell you guys, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. When I was growing up in like the 90s, when I was growing up collecting comics in the 90s, I was a big DC guy.
Okay.
But I read a lot of Marvel, but mostly I read Marvel as well, but I was mostly reading like X-Men, and I think that was mostly it. My kind of experience was mostly X-Men and like a bunch of other like one-off like
I can't blame
Marvel,
you on that.
Marvel
I can't blame you
comics.
on that because back then, like X-Men was like the main title,
Right.
And that was the title that was making.
That was making the
Marvel
dough. Like, and that was
making the
Jim
money.
Lee's. I feel like that was Jim Lee's run in the 90s
It was
on X-Men.
It was
right?
Jim Lee's. Yeah.
And then like I was about to say Apocalypse Now. Not Apocalypse Now. But
Age of
Age of
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, like Joe Madureira was doing the art.
Yeah.
So a lot of, and you got like the foil covers and like the bagged comics. And
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like the 90s are just this real fucking like
Lot of pockets
wasteland.
and
Yeah.
belts.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of pockets and belts and no
Yeah.
feet. A lot of like, but so Spider-Man was never really my thing. So in the comics, Mary Jane and Spider-Man's relationship, like how do you guys feel that play? You guys are bigger. I feel like you guys are bigger Spider-Man fans than I am. How does that play out in this movie? Do you like Zendaya? Is that
Zendaya.
Zendaya's like rendition of Mary Jane? She's kind of like quiet, kind of like quippy, kind of like
I'm gonna let you go first. 'Cause if I get into this, it's gonna be an hour.
yeah. Don't worry, man. We got time. We got space.
I'll say that I liked kind of how they. So the Mary Jane character's always been very big in that she's got a very big personality. She's like, as soon as she walks into a room, she makes her presence felt. She's bubbly, she's energetic, but she's also behind the scenes, she seems very fragile. She didn't have a very good upbringing. I mean, what they had portrayed in the Raimi films, I think is fairly accurate to what her upbringing was in the comics.
Facts.
And I thought that it was very interesting that you've got this really confident character that's also so fragile. The way that and I haven't really given it much thought, I'm kind of doing it right now as I speak, but like the Mary Jane or the MJ, because I think her name was Michelle.
They named her
Oh, it's
Michelle.
not Mary Jane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Michelle.
okay,
So
yeah,
Michelle
they-
something, right? They
yeah,
named her
MJ.
something else.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a very different character. She's definitely got confidence, but instead of the fragility, you're replacing it with awkwardness. She's a very awkward and strange character, but very perceptive. So overall, do I like it? I guess what's the question here? Is it do I like it better than the source material?
Yeah,
or
like
just
what
my
you like.
interpretation
You guys
of it?
know more about like
Yeah.
that sort of traditional relationship between
Yeah.
the 2 and what her character is like. So when I look at the movie, I have an opinion, but
Yeah.
like I don't have that history of what her character's traditionally been portrayed as. So I'm curious what you guys think. Like, what do you think about it?
I think that this MJ is more in line with the character of Peter Parker, because the one thing that I always never really understood was how a goof kind of doofus character that was Peter Parker in high school in the source material could get a knockout like Mary Jane. And in this one, I feel like they both have those kind of very awkward, uncertain teenage not angst, but like that kind of weird personality where you don't really know who you are.
Yeah.
So in some regards, it actually works out better.
Yeah.
But I don't think I like it as much.
Okay.
And it might just be because I was brought up with this other Mary Jane character.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
I don't know. That's kind of my brain dump on it.
My brain dump on is Spider-Man is my favorite character.
Okay. All right.
Hands down,
Yeah.
my favorite character.
All right.
He is on my walls. He is on
He's
my
on
arm.
your arm.
You know, if my wife would let me, I would try to throw a name in there. Like
That's right. Yeah.
You know, but that's not going to happen. Don't like this Mary Jane.
Okay.
Just right off the bat.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Zendaya is doing a great job playing the role.
Yep.
I think the role she's been given and what she's been directed to do, she's doing fantastically. But from going back to the comic books to the 90s cartoon,
Sure. Yeah.
nothing relates back to that source material.
Right.
Like, she's more relatable to Gwen than she is Mary Jane.
Gwen Stacy. Yeah. All right.
So, I don't know, maybe she's really Gwen.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't really have Mary Jane's name. She has Marie James or whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever they gave her. So
That's right.
maybe the next movie is her dying.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
You know,
All right. Sure.
or
sure.
maybe they're gonna introduce Goblin, and Goblin's just gonna kill her off right away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you never know, right? So, I personally don't like this Mary Jane.
Yep.
I prefer the quirky, bubbly, like behind closed doors is a broken character.
Yeah.
But puts on this facade on the outside world
Right.
to, hide what she's really feeling. But
I felt like the introduction of her as MJ at the end of Homecoming was just basically throwing the character in there because she needs to be in there. And
She needs
give
to be
it
in there,
enough
yeah.
thought.
yeah, I feel like the same way because the previous Amazing Spider-Man had Gwen,
That's right.
and then they just killed her, and then they chopped the movie off,
Yeah. That's
and then they brought in Homecoming. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
that's right. Yeah.
you gonna bring Gwen back in, or are we gonna go straight to MJ? Like,
Right.
where are you gonna go
Yeah.
from here?
Yeah.
So I feel like went with the MJ route, but they didn't want to give the legit MJ.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I actually didn't even realize that her name wasn't Mary Jane. Because I guess they only call her MJ.
They only call
this
her-
movie.
They called her Michelle at the end of the first one in a meeting, and then she's like, "Actually, just call me MJ."
Just call me
and
MJ.
that's kind of where it got let
okay.
in.
So I didn't realize that. So
'Cause I don't think they
all right.
called her by any name at any point during the first movie.
No, they
until that
didn't.
moment.
They didn't
It was
call her
just
anything.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, she was just this weird girl in the background. That was
Yeah.
it. So
Okay. Cool.
Anyways,
cool. I don't know. Like in terms of my thoughts, just from the outside looking in, I liked it. I liked the way that relationship played out. It was kind of cute. It was quirky.
Yeah.
She was kind of. They like you said, it's the complete opposite of that bubbly sort of character. Very introverted, very weird. She talks about the Black Dahlia murders.
Yes,
like
and
being
she
obsessed
wants-
with that. I'm like, oh,
they
you're so
focused
weird.
a lot on
They
that.
did.
Yeah,
They did.
and I was like, "You're so weird. Like, I'd be into you. Like, 100%. Yeah,
It's funny.
Not just because she's Zendaya, but because she's into the murders too.
Yeah, yeah. Zendaya takes me halfway into the Black Dahlia. I'm like, you're weird. I like you. Yeah, I like it.
It's weird that they barely focus on like catching up to speed on all the Marvel films. They just assume you kind of know it, but they don't give you any kind. Or sorry, they kind of help you along with that, but they're just like Black Dahlia. You probably know that, right?
yeah,
like they don't give
yeah.
you anything.
There's
They're
no
just like,
there's no context
No.
there.
No.
Yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, so what happens after that? So Fury darts some people in the throat in a very funny scene, which I thought was actually pretty good, where he's just like,
Why are you ducking my calls?
yeah, that's right. You don't ghost Nick Fury, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's all pretty funny. He keeps trying to recruit Peter to come and help them fight these elementals.
Right.
Brings him into a meeting where I kind of like how Mysterio gets his name.
yeah,
I thought that was really like interesting and cool. Like it was just a televised event that was a news broadcast that wasn't in English.
Yeah.
Where they just so. He goes to this meeting, and so Jake Gyllenhaal. This is kind of like I feel like one of Jake Gyllenhaal's like bigger scenes where he's like talking to Peter and stuff.
Yeah.
Peter is like, no, I don't want anything to do
He's
with
basically desperate. Well, Peter at that point is kind of desperate for a mentor, and I think that's what he sees in Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
what kind of
That's
draws
what
him
draws
in,
him in,
and ultimately traps him.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Gyllenhaal?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think he was the perfect choice. I couldn't think of anybody outside of Jake Gyllenhaal to play that role as Mysterio.
The original, I think it was Raimi, really wanted. I can't not know this. Bruce, fucking Evil Dead.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. Thank you. He was originally looking to cast him
Bruce
when
Campbell
Raimi was doing the films. He wanted to have
Really?
yeah.
When he was gonna do Sinister Six?
I don't know if he would have gone to Sinister Six or whatever, but he wanted to do a movie with Mysterio with Bruce Campbell. That was the rumors, or at least that's what's been
I don't know
discussed.
if I would have gone with that. I don't know
It's
if I
an
would
interesting
believe that.
casting.
Yeah,
so
would
I don't know
believe
that Jake Gyllenhaal's the best casting decision, but he was good. Like,
Yeah.
my biggest
good,
problem
yeah.
with the Mysterio character doesn't lie with Gyllenhaal at all.
Right. So I'm a fan of Gyllenhaal's work. Like I'll if Gyllenhaal's one of those names, like if he's in the movie, I do a double take. I'm like,
Yes,
do I wanna
I'm with
check
you
it out?
100% with that.
Yeah.
If Jake Gyllenhaal's name is on a title,
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, what is that? And I'll
Yeah.
rewind or I'll replay the
trailer,
trailer
or like
again.
whatever it was. Yeah, exactly.
He's got
So-
a lot of range as an actor. He can do comedic, which he does really well in this too. When he goes manic, he also plays that very
That's
well.
right.
Like the bar scene that they had, I mean, I'm skipping around the plot a little, but like the bar scene they have after, when you get the reveal that he's actually not a good character, he plays it great. It goes on a little bit long because at a certain point I'm like, is he going to go through everybody in this bar's role?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think he hit like 5 of them in detail. And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, let's keep moving here. We don't need to go through everybody. And thankfully he didn't. But he was great in the role. He played off like the heroic kind of, heir to the Tony Stark thing really well when he was pretending to be good, and then when he was evil, he was just a dick. Like he just seemed like an entitled, spoiled actor dick.
Yeah.
And he played the role really well.
I think so too.
Yeah, I like that. It's just my biggest problem was that I don't think they used the Mysterio character well. I don't think that they gave that character enough to merit being the single villain in this movie.
Sure.
That's the only problem I have with not Gyllenhaal, but more the way they did Mysterio.
See, that's where when I went into the movie, I thought that Hydro Man and Sandman were actual villains.
Right.
Because I'm like, Mysterio can't carry a movie by himself as the only bad guy.
Right.
Going into that, knowing I read the comic books, watched the cartoon series, all that stuff. Like, going into it, I'm like, Jake Gyllenhaal, they made him a good guy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's going to help Spidey, and then he's going to turn on him at the end. But I'm like, but there's 2 other villains. So
I see.
So I'm
setting
good.
Up this,
Yeah.
You're setting up for this big fight, so that way he needs the bad guy to help him.
That's right. Yeah.
And then once the bad guy's done, once you're done with the bad guy's going to turn on you, which is what I thought the story was going to be. But then it ended up just one bad guy.
Yeah.
And that was what I mentioned earlier, is that like Nisha saw that coming from a mile away too, and I was like, damn, because I kind of like, I think I said to you before you went to go see it.
Yeah.
I said like, this is what's going to happen. It was basically like, these are all fake, and Mysterio's making it all up.
For sure.
Yeah,
And-
I had that running through my mind as well too.
Yeah.
And it was, I think that a lot of people probably that knew the comic books probably had it in their mind. Like, it was just, it seemed obvious almost, and I didn't want it to be, and unfortunately that's how it played out.
I think that's why I had the other storyline set up in my brain.
Yeah,
Like,
that would have been a
2
better
bad
movie,
guys.
man.
He's
That
going to
would
be
have
on
been a
the
way
good
better
time,
movie.
and we're gonna smash these guys out, and then then he's gonna backstab us.
Exactly.
And then we're gonna go into this whole post-credit scene of, Spider-Man's gonna need help from whoever,
That's
and
right.
it's just gonna bring on to the whole new Phase 4.
Yeah,
That's right.
That would have been so much better.
You should hire me.
Can you? I was gonna say,
straight up.
You can do Spider-Man 3.
Straight up. So Fury recruits him to help him out with Molten Man. I think, right? And they have this really weird thing about Molten Man, which I didn't understand. I'm like, if he eats metal,
He gets
he gets bigger. And I didn't feel like that was really explained really well to the audience, because I was watching it and I'm like, wasn't sure what was happening sometimes. He's like, oh no, watch out, he's doing something. And then
I
he's
just
like
figured
getting
Molten
big.
Man doesn't poop.
He just-
That was it.
Just
That was what I
keeps-
took away from the movie.
He's just eating and he's getting
That's
big.
it.
bigger and bigger
He just
and bigger.
absorbs
He's
it right
just
into
like-
his body. There's no rectal tract that just takes out. I don't know.
He's like Gluttony from Seven, except he never died.
Yeah,
He
he just never died. Just kept getting
You
bigger.
know who he's like? He's like the
wanna
big like club owner from Blade.
Yes.
Who's just eating.
Just sitting in the back, just burning up.
That's right.
Big jazz hands the whole time.
Fuck. That movie's
I love bringing Blade into any movie we
It's
can.
too good.
We can do Blade all day.
Yeah, that's right. So he helps him fight Molten Man. So
Yeah.
this is another scene where, I'm sort of hoping for some something that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And this was a little more exciting.
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
this one
This
was
one
a little
was
more
a little
exciting.
better.
There were more stakes. There was more stakes because
That's
not
right.
only do you not want him to destroy and kill people, you also want to try and keep him from absorbing metal.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
that's right. So that was pretty fun, and ultimately, like, they stop him, and
Yeah.
Mysterio puts on this show, and Peter is having this sort of conflict of like all of this responsibility, and Tony Stark giving him access to his sort
Everything,
of
basically.
his
With Edith.
entire sort
Edith,
of arsenal,
yeah.
Edith. Which I never thought really made a whole lot of sense.
But even after death, I'm still the hero.
No, that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that made sense.
Yeah, like,
that
that
made
was
sense. That
awesome.
was funny.
Yeah.
But giving it to Peter,
Yeah.
giving him the
Yeah.
responsibility was kind of. But I hadn't seen.
You haven't seen Far From Home?
Homecoming. So that
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of interaction.
There
between the two of
was.
them.
Yeah, there was.
So that wasn't like something that I dwelled on too much.
Right.
It was like I just assumed that
Yeah.
I'd missed something. So that now they have this bar scene that you guys were talking about before. And where it's sort of masterfully played by Gyllenhaal's character, where he gets access to Edith, and then they have this scene where Peter leaves, and then you realize everything is an illusion.
Yeah.
I thought this scene was just super goofy. Like when he just comes in and he's like, "And you were amazing, and this is what happened to you," and it's like these like stock footage of like just like disgruntled tech employees.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did this become a documentary about me?
Yeah.
Like what is it like? What? How did? But it's funny. It's just like the freeze frame shots
Yeah.
of like the guy in the background being like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is like hard copy. But like the the National Lampoon's version of like hard copy, where I was like,
They had Gyllenhaal, then they had the first guy, which was I think the guy that was working with Obadiah Stane, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's kind of cool to bring that. Then the third guy, and that's when I was like,
You guys are reaching.
you guys,
what are we doing here?
Yeah,
guys?
you're reaching now.
How long is
The
this?
guy who built
what's
the art reactor, okay, you can
right.
go with that. When he got yelled at, okay,
that's right.
why we need to bring in these next three?
It's so funny. I just thought it was really fun. I think that's what they were going for, like something that was kind of funny.
I think they were trying to do the funny thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think they're bringing it back to because that was a very serious scene. Like,
Between
Jake Gyllenhaal put on a performance.
Yeah, it was quite the performance. Yeah,
That was a great performance.
That was
And then
good. Yeah.
I kind of like how everything kind of like
Fades.
faded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But for me,
That was a cool effect.
it was a cool effect.
So that was another thing that stands out in my head. And there's another scene I want to talk to you guys about later. But like that's one scene that the way they showed the effects, basically the projections coming up and disappearing. I thought that was really well thought out.
My whole thing with the whole thing was like, why does Peter always have his mask off? He's in a
was
public bar,
Exactly.
and his mask is off, and you just
Exactly.
finished fighting Molten Man outside.
I didn't even think of that. He was still in his suit.
He's still in his suit.
God damn it!
And he had no
I
mask
saw
on.
with Gyllenhaal because his is such a flamboyant looking suit.
Yeah,
At least
and
Peter was in like black, not armor, but like
Yeah. Yeah,
But he
at
still
least-
looked like a goddamn
At least with
secret
Gyllenhaal,
agent.
he doesn't care what his identity is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, you're trying to hide who you are. You
That's
don't
right.
want people to know that the same Spider-Man from America is the same Spider-Man in the UK.
That's right.
Monkey Man or whatever they
Yeah,
call
Monkey-
him. Yeah, Monkey
That's
Man
right,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it was. Like,
Spider Monkey.
yeah,
Spider
Spider-Monkey.
Monkey,
It's
yeah.
like, why is your mask off?
That's
why are
right.
you at a bar just chilling and drinking?
Yeah.
Like, drinking
That's
an apple
right.
juice
That's
at the bar.
I remember
and,
thinking that as well. I was like, that's weird.
They didn't
Yeah.
card him.
Yeah,
like- And then it's like everyone's walking, and it's not like they're at an empty bar. Like if they're at an empty
No.
bar, I would have been like, okay, it's just
maybe.
you and the bartender,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
you and Jake Gyllenhaal's character just sitting there
Yeah.
with the bartender, and your mask is off. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
the bar's full.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of
here.
people in the bar.
That's right.
I know you're in Europe, and you don't. These people are never going to know who you are in America.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
They have camera phones in Europe too, guys.
Yeah,
Let's put the masks back
Yeah.
on.
That's right.
Spider-Man, put your mask back on. At least roll it up like you did in the comic book. Like
That's
you
right.
roll
Yeah,
it
like
up to your
just
nose, and
so you could talk
Yeah.
and drink and but I thought that was a pretty good scene.
Yeah, it was interesting.
At the end,
other than that one.
yeah, that one like the mask thing that definitely
Yeah.
stood out to me as well. Like when I was watching it. But yeah, so you find out now. Big twist is that Jake Gyllenhaal wants the tech. He wants Tony Stark's tech. Tony Stark has wronged him as an employee of his company and all of these other people that are helping to manufacture the destruction and these elementals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, guys, I can extend sort of my believability for these movies. He's got these drones, and they're all projecting stuff and convincing people there's theatricality. That's always been a part of, like, you know, superhero stuff, right? Like, even from Batman Begins, like, theatricality is like what makes you a legend, right?
Sure.
So I get it. There are moments in this movie that don't make any goddamn sense to me. Because they went through such a they spent so much time explaining it, going as far to show Mysterio in, like, his, you know, training room training for, like, okay, damage here, shoot this thing, this drone projects this. That was super fucking cool. Yeah. I thought that was
dope.
So that's the one scene that stands out in my mind. I'm like, they're showing us everything
how he gets it done. Yeah.
Sure, super cool. Then they have the scene with Spider-Man later, and I'm jumping ahead, but later when Spider-Man finds out that Mysterio is the bad guy and goes to meet him at his building, or goes to Shield.
Yeah.
And gets jumped by Mysterio. But then he goes full Scarecrow, like, fear toxin on him, where I'm like, this isn't, like, he's got 1,000 Spider-Men jumping on him. Like, are those the drones? Like, what is touching him right now? And he's like, they're climbing on him and he's fighting them like this, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This isn't Scarecrow.
No.
He's not not all in his head. This is actually functioning. Everything goes black. In the background, like a PlayStation 1 cinematic.
Yeah.
You know, or like, I don't know if you guys ever played Shenmue before, like on the Dreamcast or whatever, but like when they had to show some dope martial art, the screen goes black. So it goes into full PlayStation 1 cinematic mode, and like stuff starts happening, and like he starts getting attacked by stuff, and I'm like, it was just weird because since they showed us so much about how he does it, right? When he does this thing to Spider-Man later, with all the Spider-Man jumping on him and the people talking to him and stuff, it just, like, doesn't seem practical. Like, it just doesn't seem like, what is he doing? Is he fighting drones, but the drones grew arms and they kind of look like other Spider-Man? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Listen, I hate to say this to you, but you've thought way too hard about
it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes. I was going to say,
come on.
I never even thought of that.
I'm with you, but you were I'm with you. But I never thought that deep.
No. All right, listen, guys. You know, here's when I caught myself. I was watching it. I'm like, yeah. You know, the entire time I'm like thinking Scarecrow's fear toxin. Then suddenly it warps back to like Jake Gyllenhaal with his fucking like in a leotard with the dots on. I'm like, oh no, wait. Every one of those Spider-Men that were attacking him in his nightmare were drones?
He actually hired 30 or 40 homeless guys from the street.
There.
Just like tackle.
There you go.
Just tackle Spider-Man. He won't know it's you. You'll be fine.
Legit deleted scene. It's just Jake Gyllenhaal paying all these guys. Like, all these homeless guys after they've all got these leatards on, and they're just like, but. I just had to bring that up because I don't know, it stood out to me, but like it's obviously something that I'm alone on. I'm taking it a little too far.
I'm trying to think about a way to justify that scene.
Don't do that.
I'm trying to think about it. I'm like, could it be that he couldn't sense it because of his Spidey sense and he's just scared?
Yeah, I mean, like, you could project. If it was like projecting Spider and he wasn't actually physically contacting them, I thought that would be fine. Yeah, right? But no, he's like
he's swinging at him.
He's swinging at him. He's all climbing on top of him, and I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. It's like I also want to see what it looks like from the outside. And it's just a bunch of drones like landing on him. It's like, what does this look like?
I'm telling you, I think my homeless guy theory is probably
the homeless guy's probably the best theory.
Yeah. That's right.
Then you got the bodies and limbs.
So that was one of my big things that kind of brought me out of the movie, and it does seem like a nitpick.
Oh, you think?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So anyway, what happens after the bar scene?
He gets hit by a bus. A train.
Train.
Gets hit by a train.
Yeah, he gets murked by
a train. Basically has to go away and lick his wounds and understands that it's, how he got bested and that the best way really to fight him is using his spider tingle.
Yeah. Spider tingle?
Spider tingle,
yeah. That's right.
And basically, what happens after that? He knows the drones.
So Fury has been involved, like here.
Or has he?
No.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, he tells Fury after you get back to London.
Yeah. No, he doesn't even get a chance. It was Happy that.
Oh, it was Happy. Yeah, Happy drops the. Yeah, Happy drops
gets
the call.
The suit.
Yeah.
Or he gets the suit from Happy. He gets the cool red and black. Because
Happy meets him in Denmark.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's wearing the orange jersey.
Yeah, and he's in that random village.
Yeah,
in like Denmark.
They're super nice. Super nice people.
That's right. And he's
Denmark.
there was actually a nice scene there where Happy gives him access to the console, like that holographic console,
Yeah.
and he starts modifying the irons, like his new spider suit, like
Yeah.
augmenting it. And Happy kind of looks over at him and watches him doing. It's like,
Yes.
okay, now computer, now do this and do that, and he kind of gives him that smile.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, it's
Tony.
It's Tony.
It's
Yeah,
Tony
it's like,
again, yeah.
This is why Tony gave him
Yeah.
that responsibility.
Yeah.
So now you get this. I mean, we're skipping over a lot of the other stuff, but I don't know. I
I feel like that all that stuff is just water under the bridge because it's just random fight scenes or random talk scenes that
That's
don't even.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
MJ figures out his secret, whatever, and then
Yeah, that's how they find the
let's
projector.
talk about the drones.
Yeah, let's talk about
Let's
the
just talk
drones.
about the
Yeah.
drones. Let's talk about the drones because
Yeah.
I'd like to talk more about the drones.
Let's do it.
So at the end, he's simulating what he and it's funny because he calls it. It's like it's an Avengers level threat.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, and he's like, there are no. As soon as he confirms there are no Avengers in the area, he like takes things up a notch.
Yeah.
So and so's off world, and it's like it's a very practical look of like if someone were to do something like this,
Yeah.
you don't want any of the heavy hitters to show up.
Exactly.
Right? So I like that touch
Yeah.
of practicality.
He planned ahead.
Yeah, he planned ahead. So he gets this. I don't know who's the last guy. Is the wind monster?
I thought
the
it was
cloud
a combination
monster?
of all of them. Just some, I can't even remember.
It was
Oh, maybe it was more than one.
no, because remember they said they defeated all of them.
right.
Yeah,
yeah.
they
It
said
was the
that-
wind one.
It was
Yeah,
the cloud.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
the
yeah,
cloud.
yeah.
So now he's got these hundreds and thousands of drones. It almost looks like projecting this cloud and doing the damage and stuff. And Spider-Man jumps from I was going to say the javelin. It's not the javelin. It's whatever the plane they're flying.
The happy plane.
The happy plane. He jumps out, and they get this really great scene. Another scene that stands out in my mind when he breaks through the cloud and he sees what's happening inside.
From the inside.
Yeah, that was really cool. I
like
thought
that.
like all of the projections, like, and all of them are pre-programmed, and they're all like projecting what they need, and the ones that need to break debris and all that stuff, they're breaking. It was like. That was super cool. So that was all really well thought out. What the fuck is with the Scarecrow toxin scene, guys?
Jesus
Come on!
Christ.
I don't know. Man.
Come on! That was all really thought out. Anyway, I'm
Homeless
sorry.
guys tackling Spider. Sure. I think your biggest problem about that is literally just the guys tackling Spider-Man.
No,
everything
but
else.
everything going black and like
You can project a
You
black
can project
box
a black
around somebody.
box around somebody.
Sure, I guess. Okay, yes.
I don't guess. I
Yeah.
know.
All right, fine. My big problem is
The homeless
dudes
guys.
on
Just
this-
think of it as a bunch of homeless guys, and I'm not talking like one for every Spider-Man. You need like 3 or 4. So he's got like of the 12 Spider-Man that tackle Spider-Man, there's 40. Well, no, sorry, of every one there's 4.
Well,
Sorry,
there's a lot of guys.
a lot
There's a lot of homeless people. They ain't homeless no more after that paycheck.
No.
Because I know I'm make sure I get paid. I gotta fight who?
Yeah, that's right.
That's gonna cost you a little bit.
That is right.
That's only 2 Subway sandwiches. I need at least 4.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And a beverage.
I don't know why. I think like back in the day, it was really
and
like,
he's like talking to them in his ear. He's like, "Okay, now fight him. Okay, now pile on top of him. Now, can you
that's
stay
why he's
there?
the
Just
bull,
stay there
so he
for
can
a
see
second.
more and contact. I don't know.
Can you stay there for a second? Yeah, just stay on top of him." That's like,
It's very hard to coordinate a bunch of extras in like a movie on like a movie set. So it just
when you're doing it over and over and over again until you get it right. These homeless guys were very well trained. They were very well trained.
I just said, well, listen, you're gonna tackle Spider-Man, but at the right moment. Okay, go. And that's the only instruction. When I say go, tackle the guy that looks like Spider-Man. But then the thing,
But they see the same projection.
That's what I was
Come
gonna say,
on,
that's what I was
guys.
gonna say.
What are we talking about here? What are we talking
You just
about?
need to
You're a
go on
homeless.
to the next step.
You're a homeless guy.
yeah, we are focusing way too
Your
much.
homeless guy theory is completely off the rails.
It's better than whatever you got. It's
This
not
is an
drones.
unsolved Mysterio.
We're gonna have to
Let's go.
call Disney and ask for
That's
director's cut.
Yeah, that's right. So he dives in, sees all of the drones projecting everything, and his plan is to actually screw up the projection. So it reveals Mysterio. So he goes ahead and does that, and this is the one action scene that I enjoyed more than the others.
Okay.
There was some I think almost like GoPro footage in this scene where he's swinging and he's swinging up and under.
Yeah.
There was some visceral stuff there, and I actually quite liked that. And they reused that at the end of the movie when he's swinging with MJ.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like GoPro thing, like where it's like feels real.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it feels real. So that was pretty neat, and I like that. And then Happy has this sort of side gig with saving the kids in the museum.
Yeah.
Yes, in the museum. Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to mention about this last fight scene here, but
I really liked the last fight scene.
Yeah.
I think it was fantastic. I think the way that Spider-Man got his powers like back to full strength.
Sure, yeah.
Was dope.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he was like, okay, now I need to figure out how to use my Spidey sense. Wasn't too like impressed with the way they kind of did the whole happy saving the kids scene.
seemed a little.
I
tacked
feel
on.
like it was a little tacky.
Yeah.
The drones. It's like count down 5, 4, 3, 2,
Yeah.
and then they stop at 1. It's like,
Yeah.
we know you're stopping at 1.
Yeah.
Like, we know the door's gonna get cut and it's gonna stop right before it gets all the way through.
That's right.
So I
a
thought
little
that was a little
cliche.
cheesy,
A little
but
cliche.
but it's all right.
Imagine they killed all the kids and Happy. How would you have felt about that? You'd have been like,
You know
that
what?
wasn't cliche,
You know
but I
what?
don't feel good about that
I
either.
wouldn't have been. You know what? If they did that, I would have been like, they took a step. They took a step.
They took a step in a direction.
Yes, they took. Yes,
I'm just
It
not
would've been
sure.
a- yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure what direction it was.
It would have been.
But you know
this
what?
way.
Instead of MJ getting thrown off a bridge by the Green Goblin or
All these-
falling down a
Yeah.
falling
Sure.
down some kind of chute or elevator shaft,
Yeah. 5 children murdered.
5
in
children
cold
murdered,
blood.
Flash Thompson's dead, everybody's dead. We're good.
Oh my god, that would be catastrophic for some of the younger viewers watching that.
some of the
movie.
younger kids would just die.
Just getting riddled with bullets.
Oh my God.
Just like how awful that would be.
That's why,
If you wanna see
I
some-
don't write movies.
If you want to see a scene like that where a drone that looks very much like that riddles a lot of people with bullets, watch Oblivion. I don't know if you've ever
Yes.
seen
Yes,
that with
yes,
Tom
yes,
Cruise.
yes.
Exact same scene, except exactly what you're describing, where everybody dies.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this gets happening over and over.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. Any thoughts on that last scene there?
I thought it was good. Like I think I agree with both of you that it was probably the best action scene of the film.
Yeah.
And again, it's all about stakes. Really,
Sure,
like
yeah, sure.
at this point, I mean, Spider-Man's going to be so much more farther ahead now that he's figured out his Spidey sense, because I'm not going to call it tingle anymore. And it's the drones, you've seen just how dangerous they can be. Before it was kind of like, they shoot some bullets, they do a little bit of destruction, but then you have the Mysterio scene where he's explaining what he's going to be doing, and they're
That's
talking
right.
about the casualties.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden
yeah.
you know that he's ramped it up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they seem a little bit. There seems to be more stakes even against Spider-Man, despite him having a Spidey sense.
Sure.
And then just the weight of the fact that it seems like Mysterio's dead, but he's not. But then he is again. And
Yeah.
It just seemed interesting. But there was also, and this leads into the post-credit scene, but there is that sinister undertone where it seemed like he had another ace in the hole.
Yeah.
Despite being so out of it at that
Yeah.
point, like he's not going to win. And then he does.
What did you think of his? He had this recurring sort of phrase where it's like people will believe anything.
Yeah.
Like that was his recurring phrase. It's like people are not going to be fooled by this. It's
Yeah.
like in this age of heroes, like people will believe anything.
Yeah.
What did you make of that? Like, I
I
wasn't
didn't
really
make-
sure what to think of that.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until you brought it up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To be honest, like,
I feel like he says that more than once.
He does
in
say
the
it more than
movie.
once. Now that
Yeah.
you've mentioned it, I
Yeah.
do remember him saying it more than once. And
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to make of that. It was almost like he was talking to the audience. It's like
Yeah.
because
He
we're
was,
in this
in hindsight.
we're definitely like not we're definitely in this moment where if you're a comic book fan, you're just like happier than a pig in shit because like you've got movies and your properties that you were reading, like, and not just even the big properties. It's not even those that are doing the best business. It's these like weird offshoot properties.
Mm-hmm.
You've got like Guardians of the Galaxy, you've got Shazam, you've got like all these movies that are just like who? Right? Like
exactly.
they're just
They made Aquaman cool again?
yeah,
What?
it's like what? Yeah,
Aquaman's not a nerd in a green suit anymore.
Yeah.
a suit.
that's right.
6'4" jacked Samoan?
So it's like you in this age of heroes, which is really what this is of films. It's almost like he's like you guys are ready to believe anything, and it was just a weird. It was like a weird, almost like felt personal. Like he was talking to the audience. It's like you guys are gonna believe anything because we keep putting these movies out. You guys keep coming to watch them.
I
And
don't
was
think
like,
he was
but
saying
I don't.
that.
I don't think he's saying that. But that's
Yeah.
like how
Disney's
I
not
took it.
playing that game. They're
No,
not
I
going to
know,
start
I
taunting
know.
their audience.
No, I know.
They are with all the remakes for all the Disney classics.
Don't get me
Oh,
started
shit.
on that.
Yeah.
They are.
I do want to
Don't
talk to you about The Lion King, but we'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know if you guys had any thoughts about that, but it's neither here nor there.
That was the sinister undertones that there's like, that was the ace in the hole for me, was like, oh, what's he talking about? Like,
Yeah.
he seems very confident in the way he's saying that, but like his drones are all fucked up. People are seeing that this water/wind monsters, not all that.
Yeah.
Like, he still seems confident, and then you find out.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he ends up.
But I didn't connect it like he was talking to the audience about like the general.
I don't think
moviescape
that
in general, and I don't. Yeah,
it was more of like just my initial reaction.
It's an interesting
it was just something that came out, just like the Spider-Man attacking Spider-Man in his toxin. It was just something that oddly stood out to me when I was watching it. But then he saves the day, manages to get him to shoot him, so like a drone to shoot him, like shoots himself, and he dies. Mysterio dies. So then at the end you get a cool web swinging scene with MJ and
MJ,
which was quite nice. And then you get the mid credit stinger, which is like J. Jonah Jameson showing up on a monitor, like disparaging Spider-Man.
Sam Raimi's J. Jonah Jameson.
Exactly.
They pulled that out.
if I was drinking anything at that point, it would have come out of my mouth. Nisha could attest to the fact that I'm usually pretty quiet during movies, and all of a sudden I see J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson, I go, what the fuck? Like, I flipped.
I did the same thing. My wife was sitting here and I was like,
yeah.
What?
I'm like,
What?
Did you?
Is that? Yeah. I
I was
know.
like,
Especially for someone who loves the first
one.
Spider-Man so
Yeah.
much, like that must have been a huge.
yeah, I
moment.
was like, next thing they do is put Elizabeth Banks in there.
Yes.
dude, it was like that was surreal just to see that, especially since he was Gordon in Justice League, and now he's coming back to his sort of like Spider-Man roots, where he just there was I don't know what kind of audience you guys saw. Like, did you guys see opening weekend this movie?
I saw it on the opening day. I saw it on Tuesday.
So I think I saw it opening weekend. I'm not sure if I saw it the first day. I think I saw it on the Friday, but the audience collectively lost their shit.
Oh yeah,
like when J. Jonah Jameson.
Everyone there was like,
yeah, that's
like,
right.
clapping,
I don't even know where my hands are. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so like that's the movie that I grew up on. So when I saw that, I was just like, what? It was just like big deal. Reveals his identity to the world, and then subsequent scene you get Nick Fury and what was her name? Smulders?
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill.
Colby Smulders.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colby Smulders is the name of the actor.
That's
Is the name of the
Okay,
actress?
okay.
Yeah. Maria Hill is the name of the character.
Right. And they're driving away, and they turn out to be the Skrulls.
Yeah.
They morph back into the Skrulls, talking to Sam Jackson, who is on the Skull sort of like capital ship. Is that what that is? Yeah. And he looks like he's like on vacation, but not really. He looks like he's got things under control up there.
So he's at Tahiti. If you
Tahiti.
watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a deep cut there.
It's been a while since I've watched that too. I'm like 3 seasons behind.
Oh man, I'm like 2 seasons behind. I'm not gonna lie to you. I stopped watching when they brought out Ghost Rider.
I didn't even get there.
You didn't get to Ghost Rider?
I was gonna start watching when they brought Ghost Rider.
Yeah. I just never got. I never got a chance. At some point.
So 2 things: revealing Spider-Man's identity. If I remember correctly, when I was reading comics in the 90s, I'm pretty sure that he had done that already. Like
He
that
did.
was like
Civil War.
That was Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Civil War.
At Civil
I thought
War,
it was
he
even earlier than that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That was Civil War.
I think Green Goblin tried to and then he ended Green Goblin. Like he put a blade through him.
Yikes.
Yeah, that was one of the darker, not mainstream storylines.
Okay,
But yeah, he had a Civil War is when he said, "I'm Spider-Man," just like how Iron Man did in the first movie. He says, "I'm Iron Man."
Yeah. Okay. So it's been like that in the comics for a little bit. So they've known that. So
I think they retconned it
Well,
pretty quickly after
they did
that.
retcon it. They
Mephisto or something got
They gave him a
involved?
deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Mephisto, yeah.
Oh, that's
Spider-Man
right.
made a deal
I
with
did
the
read about
devil,
this.
and the devil said that I will make everyone forget that you're Spider-Man, but you can never meet Mary Jane or talk to her again.
Okay.
And then he said, Jesus. And then he...
Did he take it?
He took it.
You guys are leaving me suspense here. He's like,
He took it.
Did he take it?
Yeah, he took it. He took it. He took the deal, and everyone forgot who he was.
So current continuity Spider-Man. Do you guys know if his identity's out there?
No, it's not out there.
out there. Okay.
It's not out there.
All right. So this is a big deal. Are you guys excited?
Oh wait,
about
hold on. Current continuity Spider-Man as an Amazing Spider-Man, or
any of them? Any of them?
Amazing Spider-Man? They know who he is because Miles Morales is now Spider-Man.
Oh, right.
Because when he died,
in regular continuity,
no one knows who he is. But in Amazing Spider-Man, which is Miles Morales, they know who Peter Parker is. They know Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Is that still taking place in like an ultimate sort of like alternate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah. I thought they had
I had to rep my.
Yeah.
Well, they brought him back in. They brought
Yeah,
I
I thought
thought Spider-Man
they-
back to life.
Okay, yeah.
But I had to rep my, my Miles Morales.
Yeah.
my half Puerto Rican, half black character. Put him out there.
Straight.
I got his poster on my wall too.
Yeah, Miles. Because I remember when Ultimate Spider-Man first came out. Was that early 2000s? It was like 2001.
I want to say it was about the time.
Yeah,
we were
about
in
that time.
University.
Yeah. Because me and a few buddies had bought the first issue. So first issue off the rack. And dude, that thing shot up in. It was one of those like investment books. Like at the time, I remember like 5-6 years later, Ultimate Spider-Man #1 was like worth a tremendous amount of money. I don't know if it still is.
I have Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I have Ultimate Spider-Man 700 when Peter Parker actually dies.
Oh no shit!
I have it signed by Stan Lee. I have it hanging on my wall.
Dude.
That was the yeah.
Did you ever get it graded? Or do you ever do any of that? Like
I was gonna send it away to get graded after I got it signed.
Yeah.
And then the girl I was with, who was not my wife, but the girl I was with when I was gonna get it graded, she's like, "You're really gonna send the book away?" And I was like,
"Wait a minute, yeah,
yeah, you're right. Put this back in my backpack."
let it bang around back there.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're really gonna send it away for someone else to take your book and then grade your book, and then you don't know you're getting your book back."
That's right.
Because it's not like they're going to grade it in front of you. They send it away to like somewhere
That's
in
right.
California, and then they send it back to you, and it's in a nice little frame case with, and you're spending like $90 to get it graded. And she's like,
"Wait, what?"
Yeah, it was like $90 at the time because it was at Fan Expo when I got it done. Because it was the last time Stan Lee came to Fan Expo, I got him to sign my book.
Oh, dope.
And then they were like, right after you get signed by Stan Lee, they're like, the rating people were there. They're like, "Oh, we'll take your book and get it rated for you." And I was like,
"Nope."
Stan Lee just opened the plastic and signed it and put it back in. Like I've never touched this book.
That's right. Yeah.
I've never touched it. Like my fingerprints are not on this book.
So his fingerprints should make it worth more.
I'm like,
Stan Lee, can you spit on this book? Can you spill your coffee?
Can I clone you?
Yes. That is Stan Lee's coffee on this book, guys.
So the girl I was with, she's like, "You're really gonna send your book away and then
Yeah.
spend $90 and then not know you're getting your actual book that
that's
he
true.
signed back with
right.
only his fingerprints on?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." I put it back in my backpack and walked away.
All right.
And now it sits on my wall in my office.
And it's a great cover too. I remember that. That was
It's like all the Spider-Mans and all the Venoms and Carnages to make all the dark spots.
It's
a
cool.
dope cover.
That's a very, very cool cover.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that cover. Now that I think about
I'll send you a picture of it.
With the fingerprints.
With the fingerprints.
It's like a black light
is
on it.
Stanley's
It's like a black light on it. There's like 3 fingerprints. It's like those are Stan Lee's fingerprints. Yeah, check it out. So the Skrulls reveal themselves to be playing these roles.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? I thought that was really cheap.
No, I actually think it plays into the whole what they have going forward. So
Okay.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. I know if we're getting into this, but
Go.
I think Nick Fury
We're at the end of the movie.
is creating Sword, which is the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
And then the Skrulls are policing other Skrulls on Earth.
Okay.
But Nick Fury has to be present
Yeah.
for the Avengers to still keep doing what they're doing, so they got to play a double role. Because I think Secret Invasion is probably their next storyline, or something along that line. Like, they may not use it as like a... It might be like an Age of Ultron story. Where it's just like a one-off movie. We're going to do a Secret Wars.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen. But I think them being there is a big hint to what's going to happen next.
Interesting. Were the Skrulls ever portrayed as anything other than villainous in the Marvel
Not
universe?
to my knowledge.
Not in the comic book.
Because the way you make it sound, it's like a Men in Black movie. It's like almost like they're
it kind of
like they're there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's kind of like these
They're there,
aliens
but
are
they're-
living here in
yeah.
secret. They're kind of like refugees. You know what other story has done that? The Justice League HyperClan story, the Grant Morrison one, where they start hiding the White Martians on Earth, but wiped their minds and made them forget.
Yeah.
Like they basically had all of these White Martians living on Earth, and then later, in like several volumes later, they remember, but they don't tell anyone, and they start forming this like White Martian coalition on Earth secretly, and they dismantle the entire Justice League.
I was going to say, because the White Martians are the evil Martians.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
I got to remember my DC history.
Yeah. No, I'm desperately trying to bring this back into my court. That's all I'm trying to do. You guys are running circles around. Yeah, you guys are running circles around me. But
It's similar, except that that was a bad idea. Let's just wipe their mind. Let's wipe a bunch of psychics' minds and send them back into the populace. It's fine.
Oh, but it was Martian Manhunter not wanting to destroy the remnants of his race.
Put him in a jail. It's
Put
fine.
him in a gulag.
Well, that's what they did at the end of it. They after the second wave, and they realized they screwed up. They're like, let's just
Phantom Zone.
Phantom Zone.
That's right.
Phantom Zone them all.
That's right. But this one, the MCU's taking a different approach, as like the Skrulls were portrayed as being heroic, and now they're living they're living amongst us. So a secret invasion movie would be, a secret invasion storyline would be interesting, because you're going to have
bad Skrulls.
Yeah,
bad
essentially
Skrulls
like
good
Skrulls
Skrulls versus
you're gonna have like a different
whoever, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have.
I think what's going to happen is that they're probably going to take someone who's off planet, like Thor or Miss Marvel or whatever you want to call her now.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Someone's going to take over. Someone's going to be that person on Earth, and then the fake Nick Fury is going to be like, "When'd you come back?"
Yeah,
and then that's going to be like, "Oh, I came back 2 weeks ago. You didn't notice?" And then that Skrull is going to be like, "Oh, you know what? I didn't get the feedback from the mothership. They've been disconnected for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
that's what happened."
Okay,
and then that's just how it's going to just start circulating. I'm not a writer for I'm not a writer for Marvel, but if I was in there, I'd be like, let's throw something like that in there. It's an easy way to kick it off, because you already have the idea sitting. That's like, the character's already sitting there.
Are there any other big story? Like, so we did this. They've done the Civil War stuff. There's the secret invasion stuff. Yeah. There's the other story that I wanted to read, which I never got a chance to, which was, why can't I remember? It wasn't. I don't think it was Original Sin, but it was another story where basically hammers start falling to Earth from Asgard, and like random people are picking, like villains are picking up these like Asgardian like weapons, and they're all becoming like Thor-like, basically being empowered. Like I think the Blob picks up one. Like it's crazy. Really? It's totally crazy. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember. I don't.
Like, it was one of the larger like crossovers.
I would like that idea, but that's not going to happen because Asgard doesn't exist anymore. Asgard's now on Earth.
That's right. Yeah,
Asgard's now on Earth. So they took that storyline that where Asgard fell.
Oh, that's right.
It's now they've already incorporated that into the Infinity War. Right. So Asgard is now on Earth.
So you think the secret invasion would be like the next?
I think that's the next best option.
The next obvious.
Or they're going to do like because they showed glimpses, and this is like obviously like what they call it, Easter egg stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Of the Fantastic Four and the Baxter Building. So remember when
they showed the Baxter Building?
Yeah. When? So when Spider-Man's swinging through
the Baxter Building,
they showed there's a scene where Spider-Man's swinging through, and they show a sign that says "Ready" in 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 has circles around them, and then it says ... and then the camera pans up, and it's the old Avenger Tower building.
Yeah,
but there's nothing on top of it. They skip
like
away.
It looks like a 4.
There's gonna be a 4 on top of it, so they think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be the back. Yeah, you gotta.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's amazing.
It's in the post-credit scene. No, the mid-credit scene. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Spider-Man swings through. It says 1, 2, 3, and it says ... and then the camera pans up, and it's the old Avengers building, and we know that from. You missed this one because you didn't watch. You didn't watch the first Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Homecoming.
that's true. Yeah.
They leave that building.
Oh,
they sold the building.
They did.
Tony sold the building to somebody else, but no one knows who bought it.
Yeah,
I see.
I always wondered that. I never even made that connection.
Really
yeah,
that's amazing.
I was too busy trying to figure out this whole Scarecrow series to notice this.
I'm sitting here watching post-credit scenes, like, where are we going next?
Yes.
Whenever I watch these movies, I turn off my mind for like the first, my mind's on for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and I turn it off because it's usually the middle that you're like, yeah, and then I turn it back on for the end, and then I always have it on for the post-credit scenes because I'm like. So where are we going?
Where are we going?
Where are we going with this?
That's a good move.
Yeah.
That's a very good move.
Yeah.
So
I think Victor Von Doom might play the big bad, or Galactus might be the big bad, and they're going to use Victor Von Doom to help get to that point.
They're definitely going in a more galactic level thing, because they also have this Eternals movie coming
They do
out
have
too.
the Eternals movie.
Did you ever read Marvels?
I did.
Did you ever read Marvels?
Alex Ross?
They were. He did the covers, but he didn't actually do the art.
Who wrote it? Was it Mark Waid?
Oh, shit.
It wasn't Mark Waid, right? Oh, Kurt Busiek. Kurt Busiek, I think, was the one that wrote it. I think it was right.
It's fantastic. It's really, really weird and out there, but it's also really, really cool. Mm-hmm. So you've got these characters, the Eternals, and basically what it is they essentially... I'm not going to go into too much, but basically they're... Essentially, planets are kind of their breeding ground for their children.
Breeding ground or food or whatever.
Yeah, so these Eternals are basically just like planting seeds inside of planets, and then when they hatch, they destroy the planet.
Yeah.
And Galactus is essentially the cosmic balance, so that these Eternals don't just keep blossoming everywhere. He
Right.
goes around and eats planets, and he's essentially eating their young.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's what this. So
love
essentially,
it.
that's they have an Eternals movie coming out with Salma Hayek and
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie, and pretty much every other woman that I've ever fantasized
But
on
what-
film.
But why?
Angelina Jolie is a no for me.
No,
No?
she's out of her
Okay.
mind.
I don't want anything to do with her in any kind of Marvel thing. I'm like, you already have Maleficent. Blah, 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 blah.
Male pheasant.
Yeah, whatever that is. Disney's already paying you. Why do you want to get a double check from Disney? Just get out of here.
She's
just
she
move.
wants that check,
Just-
man.
Just get the fuck out of
Hey,
here.
she
man.
needs that gold Rolls Royce. Yeah.
She to me after Mr. and Mrs. Smith. To me, she's garbage now. Like
No.
after that movie, I'm like, you're done.
I was like,
I'm like, yeah, that's it.
I did not like that movie either.
No.
The Eternals is the first on the slate, but there's a bunch of other stuff. I mean, we kind of skipped over it because you mentioned Blade, and I'm like, we skipped.
Yeah, we skipped over it.
Fuck
After
fuck
the
everything.
rest.
But you had the Eternals, we had the Loki TV show, we
Yeah.
had Vision and Wanda and
WandaVision
Vision.
is
So
also
that's
a TV show.
It's a
Yeah.
TV show.
Then we had
Cap times
Captain
two.
Falcon.
Falcon,
Falcon
yeah,
and
Winter
Falcon Winter
Soldier.
Soldier.
That's also a TV show.
That's a TV show.
Yeah.
So in
lot of
terms
TV
of
shows.
movies,
Thor.
who was the
Thor.
Asian, like the Chinese?
Shang-Chi?
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. He's
That's a
actually.
movie.
He's a Canadian guy. Yeah.
Yes, he's
a Canadian guy.
actor, Yeah.
His show is hilarious. If you
Oh, is
haven't
it?
seen Kim's Convenience,
Oh yeah.
watch that
Oh, I
show.
heard it's really
He is
funny.
hilarious
I
on
heard
that
it's very
show.
funny.
He's a
Okay.
great. That show is awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's like 2 or 3 seasons deep, about
Yeah.
10 episodes each. It's not a deep watch. I think most of it's on Netflix.
Like
So-
30-minute episodes.
30-minute episodes. They're
quick watch,
fantastic.
Yeah,
You
That's
can
awesome.
you can skim through them real quick.
Yeah,
You don't have to watch them in order either.
yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Those
So
are my
So
favorite.
what else we had? We had
That and
Shang-Chi
the cool
and,
thing about that is Shang-Chi and the ten rings or whatever the
Yeah.
10 rings. So they're going to be bringing the real Mandarin.
Yes,
which
they are
kinda-
going to bring in the real Mandarin.
That'll be
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
we had Thor,
Love and Thunder.
Love and
Yeah, Love and
Thunder.
I'm
Thunder.
curious because they did a big run with Jane Foster as the female Thor. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to
So
see
wait,
kinda what
is
they
that
do
her
with
movie?
that. Yeah, that's her movie. It's
Oh, wait,
her.
'cause that's just
Which
talking
I
about-
thought she was done.
I thought we were going to do Natalie Portman as Thor.
That
Yeah,
is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was that a different movie? I don't know.
no, it's that movie. That's the movie.
Love and Thunder is Natalie Portman's, or basically, what's her name?
Jane Foster.
Jane Foster.
Jane Foster's
Yeah.
Thor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you read that run?
I haven't read that run.
Okay,
I've read the
'cause
first.
I only-
no, I lied. I read the first 2, I think,
Okay.
and then I put it down because I had other things to read.
So the writer of that, his name is Jason Aaron. He did a book called Scout, which I really like. I wanted to read and review for the show because I haven't read the whole thing. But I've been reading online, and this is strictly just hearsay. But a lot of people don't like that run. Like how do you guys feel about
I'm okay
kind
with-
of basically it's like, okay, now it's Thor, but she's Thor's a girl, or it's like now it's I'm trying to think of where else they've done that.
Where
Captain
all
Marvel.
of a sudden is
Okay,
Yeah,
Captain
Marvel.
yeah,
They
Captain
did that
Marvel,
for
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Captain Marvel. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because when the person who Thor's name is not really Thor. It's
Donald Blake.
It's Odin's son.
Odin's son. Oh, yeah,
Odin's
yeah,
son.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
His
right.
name is not really Thor.
Yeah.
His name is Thor Odin's son because he holds the power of Thor.
That's right. Yeah.
And Mjolnir gives him the power of Thor. If you
Right.
read the inscription on Mjolnir, it says, "Thou who holds Thor, or thou who's worthy enough to hold this, whatever,
Yeah.
has the power of Thor."
Right.
So it's not really.
So it's more
his
like a
name.
mantle.
It's more
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
So
like a mantle. Yeah.
whoever picks up the hammer is now Thor.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
So-
I think that's pretty cool because like it is wielding Mjolnir that
yeah.
makes you
Thor. So
Makes
Captain
you Thor.
America is technically Thor
for those
for
moments.
those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick thing about Captain America and the hammer and the shield. I thought there was a huge missed moment in that where he had the shield and the hammer, and he can bang the shield and hammer together because he doesn't bang them
doesn't-
together.
he
He
He's
doesn't.
not. He's not doing this with like pots and pans.
No, but like that's what like Vikings do. Like before
Oh,
they
yeah.
fight, they just like boom, boom. They smack them together to make their like boom,
He's
boom.
more
Big
subtle
sparks
than
come
that,
out.
man.
Subtle. There's
He's
nothing
not
subtle
hiring
about it.
homeless people to start tackling people. That's That's not
So you're telling
Cap?
me Mysterio got a hold of the shield and hammer?
Oh, he'd be slamming those
slamming that shit like
lowest common denominator. That's it, man. That's what he's doing. No,
Fucking marching band.
He's throwing the shield off of Thanos, so it bounces off his head, and he's like, oh, and then he throws this hammer at that, and then it bounces off, and it does the big thing, and he's like, that's how he does it, where it's more subtle, a little more choreography to it. He's not banging it together like a savage. What are you thinking?
Oh man!
Epic teardown. Thank you.
sorry,
I
man.
still think he should have fucking banged the shield. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
I
You're not
know.
gonna
That's
convince
why
me otherwise.
I've
man.
said my piece.
But yeah. So we got. Sorry, that was what were we just talking about? That was. Thor.
Thor, yeah.
I was like,
Love and Thunder.
I was gonna say God of Love.
God of Love.
That's not
God of Love.
Love and Thunder. But then we also had what I'm most excited about next to Blade, given what we talked about before, was the sequel to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
that's going to
was
be the first rated R horror movie.
Yeah.
Marvel's
And I'm
gonna
like,
put out.
That'll be
Scott
good.
Derrickson is the director,
Yeah.
and the guy who writes it. I actually met the writer at a movie festival in Austin, and I've been following his stuff. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Ain't It Cool News, but he used to write for a website called that. Robert C. Cargill is his name, but he's written some very like nitty gritty horror films. Scott Derrickson was a horror movie director.
Yeah.
And now he directed Doctor Strange. He's going to be directing the sequel, and it's called The Dimensions of Madness, or what's it called?
No, the
Mysteries of the
Multiverse.
Something of the multiverse.
Something-
No, I thought the word madness was in there.
Might it be Multiverse of Madness?
Multiverse
Yeah.
of Madness.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me of pure John Carpenter in the Mouth of Madness. I feel like this is going to be like a Lovecraftian, like Carpenter-ish, like horror action film. And my body is ready for that shit. I was like,
I'm
yes.
happy that Marvel's like, okay, you know what?
Gotta
Now that we own all the
diversify.
properties, we've done these fun cookie cutters.
Yeah.
We've gone a little dark with some of them.
Yeah.
We need to now that we own everything again.
Yeah.
And we have some rated R now in the mix.
Yep.
We need to keep some of that because it
That's
did
right.
well.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and I think the fact that they're bringing in all these characters, like we're bringing back the Blade, and some of these characters need to be dark and scary,
Yes.
and rated R.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And
There is a Morbius movie.
there
coming
is,
out,
and
right?
I am so excited for that movie.
It's like I haven't heard too much about it yet, but I'm excited to see it. I'm just unhappy that Morbius and Blade are not going to be in the same movie.
They'll come together. They're going to come
I can see
together.
that happening,
They will always come
But
together.
is that not like a Sony?
It
No,
is.
it's a Sony property,
But so is Spider-Man.
but so is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
Is that one of those joint
that would
productions?
be my guess.
Yeah, so-
I could see them doing that, and I can see them doing that with Spider-Man and Venom at some point too.
Yeah.
because
Spider-Man,
made a
Venom,
boatload of
Morbius,
money.
and Blade in the same movie, I would just lose my goddamn child mind.
The fact that Sony owns the rights to all Spider-Man properties is kind of
true.
hard.
Yeah,
that's
So,
true.
The fact that we have Spider-Man in the MCU is just a grace of God by Sony.
Yeah.
So so two questions I actually have. So about Blade, I know I kind of steamrolled the conversation when we talked about Blade before. Mahershala Ali, how do you feel about that casting?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I am 100% cool with that because he's the villain from Luke Cage. For anyone who doesn't know who
Right,
he is,
right.
if you haven't watched Luke Cage, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Watch season 1. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Cottonmouth.
Yep.
Fantastic. He carried that entire season.
Interesting. Yeah.
Season 1 of Luke Cage was only good because Mahershala Ali was in it. Mm-hmm. When you got to season 2 of Luke Cage, might as well put it in the toilet.
Okay.
Put it in the toilet. It ain't worth shit. Like,
And he's now
he's
got an Oscar.
He's an Oscar-winning actor.
He could do
like-
whatever he wants, right?
It's the same thing they tried to do with Jamie Foxx in Spider-Man, an Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah,
2. Try to bring a great actor into a role,
Yeah.
but the property didn't work. You know, they needed to make Jamie Foxx the main thing for that to work. But the fact that Mahershala Ali, Oscar-winning actor, is now the main character, focal point of a character who is, you know, the original comic book movie. The original comic book movie, right
said it,
there.
man. You said it.
Like,
it is the OG. It's the OG.
yeah,
comic book.
I can't remember a movie before that one that was a comic book movie.
Well, I mean, let's.
Well,
talk
we got
about
like Superman.
Batman.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not counting the DC
but-
ones, but I'm like Marvel wise, that was the first
of
one
the
that
modern age of comic movies. I would say, I would say that is probably the pioneering one. Even Batman '89, I do not think would qualify for today's era of
No,
superhero
that's not.
Blade probably is the
I
first
think
one.
Batman 89 falls into like the Christopher Reeves era of,
Yeah,
of
I would
superheroes.
agree with that. That was the tail end of that.
Yeah.
Batman Returns. I mean, all the way up until Batman and Robin. Not that I'm comparing them.
Well,
but
so Blade was the first comic book movie to come out after Batman and Robin.
there you go.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was the first time a studio like New Line Cinema,
Yeah.
who was known for making horror films,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Basically put this movie out and took a chance, right? And put this movie out. And you know what? It wasn't even like the receipts of the theater that did them. It was all of their DVD sales.
Yeah.
Because it was the best collector's edition DVD that had all of like director's commentary, making of document. I ran that thing into the motherfucking ground. Like I was just on all the time, spinning. Oh, they spinning. Yeah, dude, it was just spinning, man. Shit, I was watching that movie way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. I had 2 posters. I had Blade 1 poster, a Blade 2 poster in my house. My mom would always come in. She'd be like, "Why do you have this this like vampiric
Yeah.
stuff?" It was like, "Where's your Ganesh?" Or "Where's your where's where's?"
I didn't want to say it. I'm glad he said it. I'm glad he said it.
No,
not me.
somebody should say it. I'll get to that because that's actually what happened. It sounds cliche, but it's just like, she's just like, "Oh,
You took
let's
down the
put out
Blade
like put out,
posters
like
for Ganesh ones?
yeah. We're just like, let's get Hanuman up here, dude, let's. She just, God bless her, man. I get it.
Yeah.
Like if my kid just put up vampires in his room,
I'd be a little
I'd be
worried.
a little worried.
Be a little worried.
I'd be like, "Don't worry, Mom, I got a new one," and it was 30 Days of Night.
Oh,
So
God.
it was like things were just, and the other one was Sleepy Hollow, like Tim Burton's
Oh,
Sleepy
dear
Hollow. So
Lord.
it's just like
You're waiting to push your mom over the edge.
That's right. That's right. My mom's
She
not
is praying
happy.
all day to Allah for you, bro.
Yeah. Dude, she's not all day, all night. She's just like, yeah. So
Allah, please
So-
just bring him in.
yeah. So she so that was a big deal. But like Mahershala Ali has really proved himself in the Green Book, won the
Oh
Oscar.
yes,
And then now he's
was he
coming back.
also in what's that one? Moonlight. Was he also in Moonlight?
Yes, he was in Moonlight.
Yes, he was in Moonlight.
I've not seen Moonlight.
You haven't seen Moonlight,
I
guys?
I've not seen Moonlight.
Oh my
No.
goodness!
Good?
Fantastic film. Me and my wife, we have this thing that we do like whenever we don't have a babysitter.
Yeah.
We have this thing where we go on either Amazon or we
Sure.
go on Google Play Movies or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And we'll just go through a movie and we'll be like, what won an Oscar?
Okay, yeah, just like fine.
And just find whatever one won an Oscar. Like it says award winning as one of the categories. We'll
Yeah.
just go through and we're like, let's go watch that one.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it and we'll be like, which one did you last hear from your friend about? Or
Yeah.
Moonlight was one of the ones we picked. It was a bit awkward at first.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Like, because the content was a little bit of homoerotica.
Sure, yeah.
But then, like, the story gets fleshed out closer to the middle, where you usually turn your mind off, is
Yeah.
the middle. Like, it gets fleshed out at that point, and you're like, oh, okay. But fantastic film. And
Cool,
he does a
yeah.
great job in that movie.
Yeah.
I think he's only in it for the first
It's just like
first
couple of
act.
stories,
yeah, first
right?
couple
Just a
stories. Yeah,
stories,
like the first. He's not the main character in it,
Right.
but the role he plays, his screen presence is just fantastic.
Yeah. Cool, man. I'm excited. I think that he's going to do a great job. I hope they get Wesley in there somehow. Like I want Wesley in
My
there.
dream,
Yeah.
my dream, if I can say it, my dream is
do it.
Wesley hands over the mantle to this new Blade, to Mahershala Ali. It's like it's just a quick scene at the beginning, or somewhere in between, like a flashback scene where this is a new Blade. Like it's not the same
not the
Daywalker we
same,
had
yeah.
from back in the early '90s, and it's just a scene where he's training, and you're like, who's the guy training him?
Yeah.
And then you just see the sword come out, and it's the old sword
Oh,
with
dude,
the timer on it. And it's,
Oh, damn.
yeah, he hands over the sword to him, and it's this Wes just leaning into the light, and he hands him the sword, and then he leans back.
Yeah. That's all.
I am good.
That's
I'd
all.
lean into it a little further in that it's what's his name? Wesley Snipes. Big beard. Big
I
gray
was like,
beard.
Yes,
the new
he's
Whistler.
He's Whistler
I was
now.
gonna be like
Whistler.
the new
Yeah.
Whistler.
And you find out that he was the original Blade too. Like that.
Yeah,
that
you
would
find
be.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Him being the new Whistler would be. Oh my god,
That would be
You know,
crazy.
Do you think this movie's gonna be rated R?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it has to be.
I would hope.
If it's not at least 14A,
Yeah,
it's going to be a problem.
The good thing is that Deadpool has proven that an R-rated superhero movie, and given a low enough budget, can still make bank.
I would say that the original Blade proved that.
I would not, because from a movie going perspective, like from
Going
box
to the
office
theater?
returns,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that it can't be a good movie.
I'm just saying I don't think that Disney is looking so much to make the best movie ever. I'm thinking that
they're
they're
business.
looking for box office returns.
Their business.
So that being said, I can still see them saying this subject material. I mean, we're doing Doctor fucking Strange as rated
As a
R.
rated R horror.
Yeah.
Blade's a no-brainer.
Oh right,
for us.
actually that's true.
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
they already announced that Doctor Strange will be a rated R.
Right.
horror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Radar horror film. Yeah.
So it's not beyond the realm of
It's not the realm of
possibility.
possibility.
Yeah.
I think they might do it. I think they might bring it down a rating though. I don't know if they're gonna make it fully R. I think it's gonna be like a 14
Soft R, whatever
or
they
soft
call it.
R, just
Yeah.
because they're gonna want. And this is gonna
If they have to cross over
This is
with
gonna
other
sound a little
characters,
racist, but because of the black community,
yeah.
they're gonna try and scale back some of the violence. I just feel that Disney's gonna be that way, and there's
Why,
gonna be like,
though?
well, there's so much black on black violence, there's so much this and that, there's so much gang violence in the movie that we're gonna scale it back a little bit, and it's not gonna be a full
Interesting.
rated R.
Interesting.
That's just
that
me
would
just thinking outside the box here,
Yeah.
because
that would be really unfortunate because I
Yeah.
mean like one of the massive appeals of the original trilogy, but like the first two movies in particular, because you don't want to talk about Spider-Man 3. I don't want to talk about Blade Trinity. So
Yeah.
like,
Fair.
yeah,
but
when you're a
those
side character
movies.
in your own movie, that's horrible.
That's true.
The best thing about Blade Trinity is the stories that Patton Oswalt has coming out of it. And he's just talking about like the crazy shit that was happening on set. Like Wesley Snipes like, you only refer to me as Blade. And it's like, wait, what?
And he's passing notes to
Passing
people. Like
notes
he's
to-
just
Oh yeah,
like,
he's not talking, right? He's passing notes.
passing-
Yeah, he's passing notes. Yeah, I remember that.
He went full weird Wesley Snipes on that movie. But yeah, the first two movies, the big deal is the R rating. Those
Yeah.
movies would never be as good as they are without the R rating.
I agree.
So a lot of people do talk about like PG-13 horror being like the bane of the horror like genre. Yeah. It's not. No. There are great PG-13 horror films as long as they're designed to be a PG-13 horror film.
Yeah.
But when you have a property like Blade, it's like if you make it PG-13, like for me, that's the first time I'll feel that anxiety where I'm like,
I'm gonna be a little worried.
Yeah. I'll be worried. I'll be like that. You guys shouldn't have done that.
Because for me, if you can do Deadpool rated R, you should be able to do Blade rated R.
Agreed.
Yeah,
because Deadpool can be a PG-13. That is easily a PG-13 movie.
That's true.
Let's be completely honest.
Yeah, that's
true.
It's a little bit of swearing. Change the fucks to shits, and you're good to
A
go.
little less blood.
And
That's
a little
really
less blood.
it,
Yeah.
I mean,
And some of the sex scenes you can scale back on. You can
back,
you can have it like, oh, he's gonna, and then you cut away.
Yeah.
You know,
2 thrusts instead of 18.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Right. So like, but yeah, I think you're right. I think that if this can easily, like, given that Doctor Strange is going to be rated R, that there's a good chance that this would be rated R as well.
I'm excited for it, man. I think it'll be good.
Sorry, last question. I know we've gone way over time, but this has
we're
been really fun.
well over time,
Yeah,
yeah.
but this has been really, really fun. Last
Yeah.
question I have for you. Maybe we can chop it out. I don't know what you want to do after, but last question. Can we just talk about like the next Spider-Man story? One of the Spider-Man stories that I remember loving when I was younger was with Kraven, like the Hunter.
Oh, the Hunter.
And I was
Yes.
because you know what about Kraven is that that's unique. When I think about the Hunter, Kraven the Hunter, in like, it gives me Predator 2 vibes,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing because I like Predator 2, right? And it's a weird and wonderful movie, but like that's super unique. Kraven the Hunter is a very unique.
Oh, he's an awesome character.
And like the hunt, like that storyline is like one of those big like Spider-Man storylines.
Yeah, it was a big storyline back in the 90s. Especially in the cartoon and the comic book.
That's
run.
right.
It was
Exactly.
huge.
Exactly.
I think it was like on the cartoon. It was like a 4-episode arc. Almost.
That's right.
Which was like one of the first before the Spider Slayers came out.
Spider Slayers.
Spider Slayers came out, and then was Spider Slayers before or after Venom?
It was before Venom.
Before Venom,
Venom
right?
was pretty late in the game.
Yeah.
actually.
So like it went like 4 episodes for the Hunter, and then it was like 4 episodes for Spider Slayer, and then Venom.
But I thought the crossover where he becomes Man Spider was longer than that too. With the crossover,
That was
with
when
the
he
X-Men,
when he joined the X-Men?
Yeah,
that was a long.
that was like
storyline.
6 episodes.
That was
maybe.
that
But
was,
that was also a Craven hunt. That was also a Craven storyline. What too,
I
wasn't
think
it?
he might.
That was a Craven episode. Craven appeared
he
in
was
that
trying
episode.
to hunt him because he
Yeah,
was more
because
of
he
an
was.
animal
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
Craven came. I think that was part of the storyline.
I think that I think you guys both just hit a pretty good vein here in that Craven is going to be the one. Okay, so now Spider-Man is enemy number 1 for New York City.
Oh, they're gonna hire someone.
They need to hire
yeah,
someone.
like
hire
a
someone.
mercenary.
Yeah.
They'll hire a mercenary, and like that
better than
mercenary
a
will be
hunter?
like, Yeah. Oh, dude.
Who's better than the best game hunter in the world?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to hunt a spider, you call Craven.
Yep.
That is
I
a
got a
weird
Craven
thing to
for
say.
Craven. That's what you do. You call him in.
That's his bumper sticker
That's
on
it.
his car. It's like, got a Craven for Craven. 1555 Crave. Oh man, but yeah, I want to see him get in there with that full animal vest, chest bearing animal
I
vest.
feel like they have to do that.
They
They
gotta
have
do-
to do some kind of dead animal on him.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
They have
yeah,
to. Like,
that's
even if it's a gorilla, I'm okay with that. Like,
whatever.
it doesn't have to be a lion because
Doesn't
all
have to be a
these
lion, yeah.
these people out there, all these
Well, the Lion King's out.
yeah,
We
yeah,
can't
you
have
know.
that bad press.
even if it's a dead gorilla, dead elephant, I'm good.
Well, it's
Some dead animal's got to be draping over his body.
Dead walrus. Let's get right.
He'll be
into
nice
it.
and warm.
Nice and warm.
And if he has to swim, he'll be
That's
very...
right. Yeah, yeah. And he could use the tusks as weapons. All right. He's just gonna.
I like how they're still attached.
Wait, guys. Here's how I think. He's got he empties out the carcass, cuts a hole in the top, and wears them like a shirt. So like the walrus head is sitting here, and the tusks are going down.
He's
to
like
his
a
knees.
rhino. He's like a water rhino.
So he can run up and like just lift the tusks whenever he wants. Guys, walrus man.
Walrus
goodness.
man, the hunter.
Walrus man, the hunter.
God.
But yo, yeah, like I said, we're way over time. But this has been a real blast.
Yeah, this has been fun.
I think we should probably wrap it up though.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on anything that we've talked about? Which is
covered a
We've
lot.
been all over the map.
That's right. That's right.
Guests first, man. What do you got?
Shoot. Just support the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Support the industry, man. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. If you're gonna bootleg it, at least watch it in the theater first.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least spend the $12. You know, go and slum it, like me and my wife call it.
Slum
Go and slum it and go see an Ultra AVX.
Low grade
You know,
AVX.
Damn. Damn.
know?
I'm gonna have to call Shuggu and be like, "Yo, we gotta watch shit in VIP from now on." Apparently, AVX is slumming.
You know
it.
what? I'm gonna blame Crash and Flow. The other podcast I feature on sometimes.
Yeah.
They spoiled me on VIP. I was AVX to the death.
Yeah.
They brought me to VIP to go see Spider-Man.
And you were like,
They brought me to Spider-Man to go
Yeah.
see the first Spider-Man movie, and
Yeah.
I was like, "The fuck?"
"Did you see this lean back?"
And I was like, "Yo, the lean in this chair right now, bro." And then they're like, "Yo, Antoine, watch this. Can I get a drink, please?" What? I'm like, "You can order beverages from your seat? I don't have to get up and walk out the door?" Man, I brought my wife the week after, and she's like,
"We're never
she
going
sits
anywhere."
down and she's like, "We're never going anywhere again."
Yeah, never going to any other theater.
was like,
How we do it.
Yeah. That's actually a good segue. Do you want to plug Crash and Flow? a little
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah, man. Check out Crash and Flow podcast. They got a YouTube. They're on all the stuff that you post on.
Yeah.
So they're on Apple Music and all that stuff. So yeah, check them out. They're a great podcast.
And they're kind of like
Similar to you
some
guys.
some like nerd stuff.
Oh yeah, they do
but they're
nerd stuff. They do comic stuff. They're all over the map. They
Yeah.
do everything. So
Well, they talk like I listened to a few of their episodes and they're really entertaining. Like
Yeah.
MMA, like I feel like they're
they're
really
big into MMA.
yeah,
They
big
love
into it,
jiu-jitsu.
Basketball for sure.
Right.
You guys
Yeah,
discuss
that's
stuff
right.
on Raptors and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
That's right. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I've
so
enjoyed.
they're into everything, man. They record on Sundays. Usually record on Sundays.
Yeah.
So they're usually out on Monday morning. So check them
Awesome.
out.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Crash and Flow.
I'll put a link in
the show notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the show notes there'll be links
cool.
in there. So yeah,
Yeah, we should probably wrap this up, man. But like, dude, this has been has
Awesome.
been totally awesome. We got to do
Yeah,
this
man.
again.
Thanks for bringing me out.
No,
This is a lot of fun.
problem. No
Glad
problem.
you
called me, man.
Yeah,
Of course, dude. Dude, that's been
problem.
fun, man.
It's
This
been
is
too much
great.
fun. We got to do this again. Absolutely. All right, guys.
Till the next one.
Yeah, this is Atul.
Justin,
Antoine.
Thank you very much for joining us. Antoine, thanks for joining us. The audience.
I had a little bit more Jameson than I thought.
Yeah.
I can't speak. No, but yeah, thanks again. Cheers.
Take care, guys.